Gather around, freaks. It's been 5 years and 8 Grimoire chapters since we started doing this show. Tonight, a mama's boy is reduced back to a child before he takes the plunge to hell. And wow, is he gooey. So gather around the internet campfire because it's time for, hey, did you see this one?
The night is dark, and the air is still. The moon casts an eerie glow over the internet, where a group of curious individuals have gathered to discuss their shared fascination for the macabre. They hold in their hands a book with a foreboding presence, bound in flesh and inked in blood, a tome of horror that only opens its pages when a sacrifice is made. Within its ancient passages lie the secrets of the most infamous murderers and monsters of all time. Join us. But beware, for once this book is open, there's no telling what horrors may be unleashed. This is the Grimoire of Familiar Killers.
I don't get it. They should be here by now.
What are you gonna do?
God damn it. Classic. Hello and welcome to Hey, Did You See This One? The weekly review roundtable reaction discussion podcast where we just have to ask the question, hey, did you see this one? On this show, we take a film and completely pull it apart, leaving no stone unturned. We're your co-hosts. I am Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason R. Phillips Takes Manhattan, joined as always by Stephen Bubba Blackfly Waters.
Hey, that's me over here.
And the Grimoire is oozing and goozing. There's goo and light and ghosts flying out of it. We're right up against it now. Friday the 13th is coming on, but it is the 23rd of October, which means it's almost Halloween. We'll come at you with our Halloween episode next week, but tonight we are talking about Friday the 13th. Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan from 1989.
Finally. He's been talking about taking it since Part 3, but he finally did it. Guys, you did it.
And this is episode 203, which not for nothing is a pretty big deal. Oh, there's a doorbell? There's a doorbell? Well, let's see who's at the doorway.
Hey, did you see this one? Happy 5-year anniversary.
Jesus Christ. Who was that?
I don't know if he wants us to reveal who it was. Well, I'm going to. That was Chris Westmus.
That was
on
a
last
message from Mayor Olivia Chow.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. We don't get political here, Michael. Speaking of it is our 5-year anniversary. Thanks for 5 years, everybody. But welcome back to the show. Over 6 times now, I think. We got to give him the 5-year button. Michael Mangione.
welcome to the Five Timers Club.
I never thought this would happen.
I can't believe this is happening.
Good to see you.
Oh my God, they're so beautiful.
Oh my
Honored
God,
to be
they're so
here.
beautiful.
And honestly, I'm humbled to accept the $5,000 you've offered as a reward for this. So thank you.
Don't cash that check till 2030, please.
Please.
Okay.
Once the revenue comes into 2030, you'll get the first.
Also,
cut
when
from-
2030 rolls around, just ask us first.
Yes, just also if we're mid water wars, I don't know if money will be a thing that's used anymore, so we can check my cachet. But yes, thank you for coming back to the show, Michael. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I didn't realize I was going to be your special guest for your 5-year anniversary, so it's an honor.
Of course.
Yeah,
We definitely planned that.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely didn't go. Oh, October 23rd. Oh, October 23rd is the day. We are on the actual date of this show starting back in 2020. So,
What was
very
the
special. What was it? It was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, classic Halloween grimoire.
Yeah. I wasn't
Steven
there
wasn't
for
on the
it.
show yet. The episode was 42 minutes long. I had COVID beard down to here. I had COVID hair out to here.
Yeah, I watched the episode. It's unwatchable. You cannot
bad.
watch it. Yeah.
No, it sucks. It's bad. If you're gonna watch this show, definitely don't start watching it till Steve joins, and even then, maybe
Even though
wait
there's
a few
rough
episodes.
year of being on phones. Anyway.
Yeah. So yes, it is our 5-year anniversary. It's episode 203, and I think at this time we should probably get a synopsis going.
A synopsis? I wonder who's going to ask us for it.
It's time for a synopsis, bitch.
Well, Freddy's officially gone and dead from
Yeah, his
The
last
show.
episode was last week.
maybe
guy.
maybe next week he'll come and have a State of the Union address like Chucky did.
Oh my god.
he's-
I think he did one. Let me check the files.
Check the files to see if he's already done a State of the Union while we get through it. I'll give a quick synopsis of this movie because it's very easy. A group of high school kids go on like a trip. They're going to the big city. They get on a cruise. They start going on the cruise. Jason's resurrected by some kids banging on another boat. There's a lot of boats in this movie. But as the kids drop anchor in the water, they resurrect Jason with an electrical wire that's somehow running on the bottom of Crystal Lake. So he's back. He terrorizes the kids on the boat, and they all escape. Well, they don't all escape. Most of them die. A group of about 5 people escape. They end up in Manhattan, and then Jason terrorizes them on the streets of Manhattan. And that's
this
pretty
new?
well it.
This is a new segment you guys do where you speed walk the whole movie in 30 seconds.
Yep. Sometimes it takes like 5 minutes for some people. Not
Mhm.
Steven. Not Steve.
No. Yeah, that's totally right. But what's that? Hold on. Oh my god, there's a crowd outside.
Guess
Oh my god,
what,
there's a man.
bitches? The nightmare isn't over. And wouldn't you know it, I'm the next twisted soul to be immortalized in the grimoire of familiar killers. Guess it was inevitable. You can't have fear without sleep. And you can't have sleep without me, bitch. Now, I know some of you like your killings big, dumb, and wielding machetes. Others prefer their psychosis in tiny overalls. Cute. But me, I don't chase you. I don't need a knife to your throat. I let you think you're safe. I make your mind my playground. And when you finally realize what's happening, too late. Game over, bitch. Fear isn't about running. It's about knowing you're trapped. It's about me turning your head against you. Every shadow, every flicker in the dark, every time you wake up gasping. Yeah, that's me, sweetheart. So, to the dreamers, the ones who thought they were safe under the covers, I want you to know I'm never really gone. I don't rot. I don't fear. I linger. Because as long as you sleep, I We'll be there. Sweet dreams, bitch.
Oh my goodness.
Freddy's canceled, man. He can't be talking like that.
I know, not in 2025. Good thing he's dead forever now.
Yeah.
But wait, did you do? You did even the Rorschach version?
No, that's a whole different thing. We
We're gonna
did Freddy
do-
versus Jason. We did
Yeah,
all of
we're
the
gonna-
good Freddy movies.
The
We
canons.
will do that eventually, but yeah, that's another day.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. I think that at this time we can probably go into our brief history after Michael called me out on spoiling the whole movie in 40 seconds.
brief history.
That's right. Speaking of Michael Mongiardi, Jason Voorhees himself, why don't you give us your brief history with this film or Friday the 13th in general?
I've seen it. Okay, I've seen it before, and I actually remembered it being like bad but fun. But upon rewatching it, it was kind of just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, my history is short. I've only seen it once before. I have done the whole. I think when Freddy versus Jason was coming out, I did the whole marathon, which was like so long and painful. And you know, it was like good moments, but it's a lot. It's like a whole day. But yeah, so I've seen it before in that context, and now I've seen it again.
Yeah, I've attempted to do the marathon as well, but I usually make it into like halfway through the fourth one. I'm like, I can't watch 6 more of these. There's no way I can watch 6 more of these today.
You can just watch the remake they did in like the early 2000s that kind of like raced through the first 3 movies.
Yeah, and it's pretty good too. But yeah. Again, we will be talking about that one eventually one day. But my brief history is similar to yours. I've talked about it a million times, but I steeped myself in all these movies at a pretty young age when I finally got over my fear of horror movies, and this franchise became one of my favorites. But this movie in particular is not one of my favorites. Even the first time I watched it, I was kind of like, this one's pretty dull, and the kills are kind of boring, and there's certain parts that don't make any sense whatsoever, even amongst an entire filmography of movies that don't really make all that much sense. There are scenes in this movie that make visually no sense that I don't understand, and I still don't understand what's supposed to be happening. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, can someone explain this to me? I like the idea of it being on a cruise ship. Like, that's kind of cool, but it would be much cooler if it was a giant cruise ship, you know, like one of the ones that we have today that are essentially just floating cities. That would be a little bit more interesting than sort of like a booze cruise ship where, you know, there at the beginning you see there's a ton of teenagers and he doesn't kill all of them. What happens to the rest of them? I assume they all die in the fire, perhaps. Who knows? But yeah, the first time I watched it, I was underwhelmed because it was amongst a bunch of other ones that I preferred more to this one. And I've seen it a few times over the years. I rewatched it today. Yeah, there's some fun to be had, but not a lot. And there's some moments that I'm like, oh, Jason made a funny. Oh, Jason made another funny. And like, they're not terrible, but they're not good. They're not Freddy level funny. They're not Chucky level funny. It's just like, how do we make Jason do a goofy thing? So yeah, my brief history is that this is one of my least favorite and one of the ones that I watch the least. And so much so that my brain deletes a lot of it from my brain every time I watch it, because I don't remember it being this long. That's for sure. I remember it being almost pretty short. But it's not. It's almost 2 hours. Anyway, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, so from my point of view, I remember seeing this VHS cover as a kid. I had this similar thing to Steven where like horror movies freaked me out by just existing. There's no way I could ever watch them. So I've talked about it at length. But this movie in particular, I remember picking up all the time and looking at the back, and that scene where he reaches through the like porthole and grabs her is on the back of it. So I had a big moment when that actually happens in the movie. But I did watch the movie for the first time this week. I finally got to it. We were covering it for the show. I watched through it, and I actually kind of enjoyed it because of the anticipation. Now, in retrospect, the cruise sequence is pretty paint by number horror and pretty lame. And also, what are the fucking rules? Is he already doing mist mode that he has in the video game in this movie? Because how did she not see him while she's spinning around the room? Anyway, we'll talk about
I
that
have a
when we get
theory
to
about
it.
that. Talk about it when we get to it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's literally the one I was talking about during mine. I'm like, what is can someone explain to me? Can the director come on the show and tell us what the fuck's supposed to be going on here?
But my biggest thing about this movie, it was always described to me as like it's the kids on a cruise, like a booze cruise ship, and then they go to New York, and it gets pretty fun for 35 or 40 minutes. And that is correct. I really like horror in the city, like the Scream 6 or Scream 5 or 6, where Ghostface is chasing them through the city. I really enjoyed that. And this movie, I feel like that movie's paying homage to this because I really got a good point with the city elements. I don't know why there was just a vat of goop in an alleyway. I don't know how
because it's New
was in
York.
19
Everything's full of goop there. Don't you know that? Even the
did
syringes, they were injecting themselves with goop. That's all that was goop.
I was like, that's heroin, and then later they're like,
I hate to
"Let's
disagree
get
with you
more
this
cocaine."
early. I hate to disagree with you this early in the movie or in the discussion, but I fucking hate the Manhattan stuff. I think it's the worst.
Really?
I think it's worse than the boat stuff, but the boat stuff is also bad. So like this is where I have this sort of contentious disagreement in my own head where I'm like, at least you're seeing new things that you've never seen Jason do before throughout the entirety of the movie because it's an entirely different location. Every other Jason movie up to this point has always been centralized around Crystal Lake in some capacity, whereas this movie is like, what if it's a boat? What if it's a boat going to New York City? What if we spend $1 million on the last 20 minutes of this movie and the rest will go into renting the boat? Maybe. I don't know.
My problem with the New York part of the movie, which was, I mean, this has obviously been talked about by a million people, and it's like the movie is, you're expecting it to be set in Manhattan, and then they don't step foot in New York until over an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
But what bothered me most about the New York part was that half of the time they spent in New York was spent with a man punching Jason on a roof.
See, that's like the part I like the most about this movie is that specific moment. I'm like, this is great. This is like a really fun, dumb thing where no one has ever done this to Jason before. And Jason's just allowing it, just like let himself tire himself. Like he's like, when you stop, I will kill you, but I'm gonna let you go just to see how much gas you have in the tank, young man.
Punches his head clean up,
which was something that was.
I'm like, oh no, he has a Ken doll head. It just popped off. You can see where it links back into place, like, yeah.
Which was something that was always brought up to me. This is the movie with the guy that gets his head punched off. That's the one thing I definitely knew about this.
I'm pretty sure I brought that up several times over the years.
I feel like
just wait till you see he punches a guy's head off at one point. It's crazy. They get lazy at some point.
I feel like this movie was like the whole reason it existed was like that one scene when he was in Times Square. I feel like someone had this vision of like Jason in Times Square, and then they built a whole movie around it.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. And it is a cool image, like to see him surrounded by all the city lights and stuff. And it's like, it's cool, but at the same time, you know, the logic of Jason is that he's a killing machine. And I guess he just has subway tunnel vision where he has to finish these two particular people off before he finds someone new to kill. But that's not necessarily the case at any other point in the movie. I don't know. Maybe he has like a Terminator list that he creates in his mind when he first gazes on to a group of teenagers, and he's like, I'll kill this one first and this one like this. Maybe I'll punch a mirror and kill this one with glass because she broke a mirror earlier, and it would be kind of ironic and foreshadowing if I kill her with the broken mirror when she broke a mirror earlier. Jason's more artistic than we give him credit for, folks. He's a poetic murderer.
Hey guys, Ben here from the BS Bargain Bin, wishing you a happy 5th anniversary. Please keep them coming.
Ben is also a mad scientist. I don't know if you guys know this.
His hair is even crazier from the last one. Oh my goodness, there's so many people at the door. Let's see who's trick-or-treating with us next.
Congratulations, guys, on your Much Music Teen Choice Award. It's been a long time coming, but I know you stuck through it, you earned it, and you got a place in history now. So congratulations. I mean it from the bottom of my heart, and I'll see you soon.
Did he just resend the video from last time?
No, there's a motif. That one just doesn't have any parts that are obvious.
I'm just wondering
Here,
because I think he's wearing the same clothes and is in the same location. So
he is.
that's why I ask.
Yeah.
question.
Well, here I'll show you the motif. I need a shorter one.
I've heard of Hey, have you seen this one? But hey, have you seen
5-year anniversary.
Now you're just talking crazy. Congratulations, boys, and hopefully you'll watch 2,000 more. I don't know what the limit is here.
I see.
There's a
I see
motif.
what you've done.
Did you after my unhinged video that I sent last time, did you tell everyone to keep their videos short this time?
No, not even, because there's still some long ones in the list here. I'm not going to play yours because you're on the show, but you don't even mention 200 episodes in it. So if you weren't on, I was just going to play it as is.
Yeah, I didn't, and that was on purpose, or was it?
It's very good. It's very funny. Which is a happy getting married in like Peru or something, taking the podcast to the next level. It was very funny.
Oh yeah, I was trying to remember what it was, but it was pretty unhinged, and I liked it though.
I was just wandering around the studio with my phone, just like babbling into it. So,
yep. And then
Mariana's just like working, and you're like, "Hey, did you hear?" And she's like, "No."
I actually did start doing that thank you message or whatever a few minutes earlier, and I was like screaming like, "Hey, so good!" And then Mariana was like, "There's someone working right over there, like just a stranger." A stranger was sitting there
you
working.
Need to be like, quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to stop.
Cool. Well, should we go into some production talk? There's a little bit to say about this, I would say.
Okay.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit.
Sound. Speed. Action!
Listen, this is the most expensive movie according to Wikipedia, but it was still only about $5 million, and domestically it made $14.34 million.
Which is surprising because it does feel in moments like it is pretty expensive feeling, but then I guess if you kind of go through it with a fine-tooth comb, you can find a lot of parts that feel very, very cheap. You're like, oh, this is not great.
But they paid these nobody actors like $9 and a hot dog.
I'm just saying that the end of the movie feels like that's where the majority of the budget went. I can't imagine it's cheap to film in Times Square, so I assume that was a lot of money to do that, right?
It was filmed in primarily Vancouver for all the boat stuff.
And the Times Square stuff, they rebuilt all of Times Square in Vancouver. That's why it cost $5 million. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff from the original. This was like several scripts that they kind of condensed into one. Primarily two big ones, which was New York and a cruise ship. And they're like, well, we'll just combine these two. And then the idea will be that he does all the killing on the cruise ship where we can save money and have one location and just a few sets and redress them and stuff. And then we'll spend the last little chunk of the third act will just be them in New York dealing with cartoonishly devilish heroin rapists in the alleys of New York City or whatever.
That heroin needle was like a needle for like a horse or something. It was like this big fat needle, and he was like spraying out of it.
It was like something Bugs Bunny would pull out, except it was covered in like rust and grime and shit. And like, these guys definitely have HIV, which is like one of those things where you're like that. It was the late 80s, or like the pandemic was going crazy. People were terrified of needles. Were like a thing that like you would hear about everywhere. Like cartoon shows and stuff would have like hyper realistic images of needles to be like, stay away from those needles, kids. I'm G.I. Joe or whatever. Like those were the times they were living in. So it's perfect for a horror movie. But yeah, it's like it's all these sort of like terrible tropes thrown into one segment. But anyway, the original script for the New York story was they basically had these set pieces in mind where it's like he's gonna go to a Broadway play and Jason's gonna be on stage for a minute in a play, and then like maybe he starts killing everybody in the play, and like he goes to Madison Square Garden and has a boxing match, which I think maybe is where the holdover was. The boxing match turned into Julius's character being a good boxer, and they just took that idea. But I mean, like having Jason walk on into the ring in Madison Square Garden and punch a guy's head off would be pretty cool, I guess, but didn't happen. And then just like regular stuff like going through department stores and Times Square, which we did see. But I think that the big sort of showcase thing they wanted to do was to have him climb the Statue of Liberty and have the final battle be on top of there and get like struck by lightning and fall off, and that's how he dies or whatever. And it's like you can see little sprinklings of where that stuff survived throughout the refinement process, and like where they're obviously like, we can't do this. We've got $5.1 million, guys. We can take one of these things. You get one.
Everything you just described sounds like the movie Crank. It sounds like they got the Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor to come in and do a Jason movie, which I kind of want now, and I want all these insane things to happen. He should like go big and become a Jason kaiju and fight the Statue of Liberty. I think that would have worked for this.
Yeah, I mean, once he gets hit with all that toxic waste at the end, like who's to say that wouldn't happen? That's
why
how Godzilla got big, right? Radiation or some shit.
Why did he demutate?
For World War II? He's an atomic bomb.
Yeah, thank God they saw that guy just wandering around the sewers. It's like, don't you know?
Yeah,
toxic waste floods at midnight every day.
Every single night, a whole shitload of toxic waste just comes washing through here. Come follow me. You guys would have been dead if you didn't.
Yeah, why are you down here, man?
He's the toxic
Don't
Avenger.
yourself. This is also it's like Daredevil and the Ninja Turtles. He's actually the origin story for the Toxic Avenger.
He's Bob's sewer rat. I don't know. He just lives
John
down there.
Sewerman. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, a lot of the stuff from those two scripts were mashed together, and like Das Boot was big and Alien was big, and so like they had all these sort of ideas that they wanted to throw into this cartoonish slasher movie, which I don't ever fault for trying, right? Like having these ideas of grandeur when it comes to like making Jason Voorhees into whatever. I mean, he eventually goes to space, so we know that Jason Voorhees is just a character you can basically throw into any scenario, and it works as long as the teenagers trying to fuck each other in the mix. Like he will be there to kill. So I don't hate like I just the execution is a little bit flaccid in my opinion. And gooey. Ugh, flaccid and gooey. I don't have a ton more to add to this. Not super familiar with anybody who has worked on this in terms of direction and all that.
Did you pull up Rob Hedden? Rob Hedden wrote and directed this movie, and he did literally nothing that I've ever heard of, except he worked on the the Friday the 13th TV show. He directed a couple episodes of that. But unless you've seen Alien Fury,
I think it was before this.
Was Invasion. Yeah, it was before this.
Yeah.
You're not. What's Box Borders? Like a monkey movie? No,
listen, man, there's probably no point in digging deep into his IMDb if he's only done one movie.
True.
Don't worry about
it.
But
it's interesting though that they gave this movie to like some guy, and this is what he came up with. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre little trivia thing.
Well, I think that they gave him a bunch of scripts, and he was like, "Well, which one can I do?" And they're like, "No, you have to take ideas from all these and smash them into one, please."
Yeah, I was just looking at this guy's Wikipedia, Rob Hedden. He was apparently praised by Leonard Maltin for this being the best movie in the franchise, which seems impossible. Leonard Maltin?
Fuck.
Yeah. He's like a film reviewer, man.
He's like
he's the third Beatle of the Siskel and Ebert, in my opinion.
Yeah. But as far as people on this movie, I guess behind the camera or behind the scenes, I don't know anyone, but I think my personal opinion is this is Kane Hodder. That's my favorite Jason. I think that's he's my Jason.
I think that's a shared opinion, I think, of the three of us. But I also think that that's a popular opinion in just like the fandom of Jason in general. I think that he just gives like a certain element of physicality that the other Jasons don't really have. Like when he's under the mask, it's him. Whereas the other ones, I couldn't really tell you which one was which unless you're showing me the actual footage from the movie. But if you just had them walking around, I'd be like, I don't know. It's a
Kane Hodder emotes like he's almost like a good mime as Jason. Like you get a bit of emotion even though he's just a mask. And this one he's hamming it up.
Well, he has like a particular stance.
Yeah.
He has a particular stance. He has a way of, he like breathes. He does like this breathing action all the time. And he like does the quick head turns, which the other ones don't really do. I think there's some really piss poor moments of like jump scare tactics and like weird framing where it's like there's a moment at the very beginning, which we'll talk about when we get to there, but like he comes up out of the boat and he's just walking down the deck, and I'm like, why are we seeing this? Like, why aren't we seeing the person scampering around hiding? What we're seeing is Jason walking around being like, where are you? I need to find you. It's not scary. It's weird.
When he climbs up out of the water onto the boat, and it's just like he's
weird,
clearly struggling too. It's
well, no, he just pulls himself out and he goes like this, and then he like looks around, and then it cuts away, and you're like, and it's so far away, it makes him look tiny, and you're like, this isn't scary. It's weird. Like, just have the hand come out and then cut away. That's scarier, right?
I actually have a question on this, and I know we're bouncing all around, so tell me to shut up if we're doing it wrong. But in that part when like the boat burns down or whatever, and they're on lifeboats, and they're like, everyone's falling asleep, so they've been paddling for a while.
Yeah.
How does Jason get back to the island? He walks under the water.
My theory is that he was just walking under the boat the whole time.
He's like looking up, and he just can't reach them.
So like this movie is where they take the magic aspect of Jason into like a direction that is like, oh, it is magical, because like they even do it deliberately a few times where like he can literally teleport around, and like I don't mind that because he's a supernatural entity. It's fine if he can turn into mist and move around, then so be it. I'm okay with that. But I assume that like, yeah, he's probably just following the boat, being like, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna really get them, because you assume he could just pop out at any point, flip the boat over, and just drown all of them, right? Like, just take two at a time.
Yeah, most
save
of
the dog for last.
Yeah,
because we do know that Jason kills dogs. He did it in the first movie.
I thought that dog was toast the whole time because of that.
I feel like that's the only reason the dog's in the movie, because the dog doesn't do anything. The dog is just there for the sake of having a dog in the movie and having that cheap emotion of like, I'm scared for the dog. I don't want the dog to die. Please let the dog live. And like, as soon as the dog is gone for like extended periods of time, and then the dog just pops up in a moment for you to like feel an emotion as an audience member. It's like a cheap
including
one
of those jump scares, like you know how the hand comes up in the final moments of most slasher movies. The final moment of this one is like the POV cam coming up, and then she looks over her shoulder just Toby the dog. Spoilers.
Uh-oh.
Listen up, man. The fact of the matter is that it is the 5-year anniversary of Hate. Did you see this one? Now, can you dig it, sucker?
Can you dig it, sucker?
Wow.
Okay.
Speaking of production.
Yeah.
Speaking of appropriation.
That was good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Booker T. We can use that song because it's in the public domain. They took it from the public domain and gave it to Booker T, and he's been using it for 35 years.
Also, that's what Chris is calling his new rap album. Public domain.
Yeah.
That's a good name. That's a good hip hop. We should start a hip hop group.
Yeah, public domain.
Oh my God, are we doing this?
I think we're doing it.
All right.
I think
we should get Chris on the line. Clearly, he's got the voice for it.
Dibs being called DJ Jason Phillips. Listen, guys, I think it's time. We've kind of gone into it. Unless
I want to be called Action Steve.
Yeah.
Can I be called Piss Boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were going to call you that anyway, without even you asking us to.
Okay.
Because of all the piss you drink.
Should we go into the body of the episode?
Yes.
Oh, I did want to mention one thing, that the sound in this movie is weird, because this movie, in my opinion, presents the idea that Jason is actually making the noises throughout, like it's coming from him, which I've never thought of ever before. I always just thought it was part of the ambiotic noise of the movie to make us feel tension. I never assumed that Jason was making that noise. It's just to signal to us that Jason is around. But this movie really heavily smears on top of the frame, being like, he's making that noise. When he shows up, he goes, which is kind of dumb. He also laughs at one point when he's coming out of the water. He's like, and then he screams at the end when he's melting. I'm like, wait, why is he making all this sound? He's a silent corpse man. He's not supposed to scream when toxic waste is thrown into his mask and then reveal that he has a weird Muppet face underneath.
I've said every single time that we play that Simpsons clip, I'm like, Jason doesn't. There's no like voice for Jason, and then I'm watching this going, oh, maybe they took it from this.
This is the only one.
Yeah,
this is the only one, and it's why I hate this movie. So many other reasons.
Stephen, I didn't. I mean, maybe I missed something, but there was something implying that theme song or whatever, Jason is diegetic. Where did you get that?
So when he's coming out of the water, like the chains, he makes this sort of like, and then it ends with. So it's like that laugh turns into that noise, and then there's like parts where when he comes up, it sounds like it's coming from like muffled under his mask, and like there's a bunch of moments where he's making sounds, and he's never made noise. He never makes noise. That's one thing that we know about Jason is he's a silent corpse man. And in this movie, every time that comes up, it just not every time. There are lots of times where it's just there to frighten you. And if you're wearing headphones, there's actually some really good like deep background sound effects where it's like which you wouldn't be able to hear from like a regular TV speaker, I think. But yeah, there's a couple of moments where it seems like they're trying to imply that he is making that noise, which I was like, it took me out of it. I'm like, that would be so weird. Imagine a man coming after you whispering at you.
I mean, maybe they were just trying to be cute by like having it like fuse into that, but yeah, that's such a weird move. Why would they do that?
There was like, this movie felt like they either didn't know anything about Jason Voorhees or they just didn't give a shit. They're like, all we need to know is where he was at the end of the last one, and what did he look like under the mask in the other movies? Oh, okay, we're gonna make it look dumber than that, much dumber.
It was so stupid. Yeah, calling it a Muppet is perfect. It looked like stupid.
It looked like those like in the Muppets when they have like the vegetables that like talk in the kitchen with like or whatever. Like they look like one of those little like gourds or whatever.
He looked like a Halloween pumpkin for sure, which is also a gourd.
That's why I said gourd.
Gourd and
the gourd. All right, let's move on to the body of the episode.
The body of the episode?
The body of the episode.
Leg. So we're in the body of the episode. This is the segment of the show where we're going to talk about this movie for the next little while. We open up with a very 80s voiceover about terror and the claustrophobia of the big city. We see some punks and a robbery. A rat climbs from a barrel. And this plays well into the idea that the New York City in the 80s was fucking gross. And that is one thing I think this movie does well. When they're actually in Manhattan, the 80s was known, the 70s and 80s, New York City was known for
I think it was mostly the 70s. I think by this time, the late 80s, like it had begun to clean up its act, but this is sort of a tropey thing. It's very cartoonish. It's very comic booky. It's the clutching pearl white woman idea, suburban white woman's idea of what New York City is. This is how I kind of feel about it. I'm sure like there are many parts of New York City that were frightening, but it seemed like they were trying to make every single inch of New York City seem like it was covered in scum and neo-Nazis and heroin addicts. And
well, I'm surprised that they didn't like show hookers with how much Jason hates sex.
It's a PG-13 movie.
I know, but like even just on the street, I wrote a note here that says Jason thinks drugs and sex are bad on a campsite. This place is going to make his head spin.
Maybe they wanted to be like, it's so bad that even the hookers don't show up. The hookers know not to go to this area. But yeah, it's also funny that like every single thing they show at the beginning of that movie is a location that they shoot in later. Like they really utilized every single thing, like the alley, the escalator, even, which you only see for 2 seconds. They're like, the shot of the escalator at the beginning of the movie is longer than the actual shot of the escalator when they go down it.
Yeah, it's Chekhov's escalator.
Yeah, they needed to show it.
Yeah, there was a nice shot of the Twin Towers right at the top of the movie. We got a nice little reminder a simpler time.
of 9/11. The original Gotham, yeah, it is pretty much this. I feel like Batman should have showed up to fight Jason at some point during this. That would have been
Or the
great.
Ninja Turtles. They do go in the sewer.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Who's this guy? Casey Jones shows up and Jason Voorhees punches his head off.
Yeah, perfect. And also the credits roll over this too, which is don't the Friday the 13th movies usually just have a black sort of background for that, and a recap of the previous movies? No recap.
I think
in
they
this
did
one?
away with that in the 5th one. I want to
Okay.
say it's been a couple movies since it was just the black, but yeah, you're right. Like for the majority of them, it was just a matte black background with white text, just putting up the character names. But I think by this point they're like, that's boring, which it is. It is boring. We always have this heavy contrast when we do the Grimoire because the Chucky movies always had such an interesting and fun way of doing their opening credits, and then we watch the Friday movies and it's like just boring black and white text
and a recap.
Yeah, and a recap. And then this movie has a good recap. I kind of liked it. This is like one of the strong suits of the movie is this opening sequence where we get a after the New York horse shit, we get a cruise, like a little yacht, sort of like a mini yacht pulling up to Camp Crystal Lake, and there's 2 teenagers inside of it and they're getting hot and heavy. They're taking their clothes off, and then he's like, I gotta go put the anchor down, but first I'm gonna tell you all about Jason Voorhees and how he died.
Yeah, that was I wrote down sexposition in my
Yeah.
It was just like sexy exposition.
Yeah.
Talking about dead children. It really get you in the mood.
Yeah, and then his mom's head got cut off. Crazy, right? I have a boner to you. And it's, he tells about the murder camp. He tells about Jason Voorhees drowning. And then he sort of recaps the last movie, but not really. It's more so just the idea of Jason. The only real mention we have of the last movie is the fact that he's still chained to the bottom of the lake, which is how he died in the last movie.
I had forgotten about that, so I made a note that was like, haven't people noticed a man dressed like a zombie with a hockey mask just kind of lingering on the bottom? But I forgot in the last movie he gets crushed by the dock. But that's still, there is a movie there, I think 6 or 5, he is just standing on the bottom of Crystal Lake, right? I don't know if we ever really mentioned that. Aren't people like out swimming and they look down in the water and they're like, oh, there's just a person standing down there? That's crazy.
I don't,
because there's that one where they chain him up down.
That's the last movie. Yeah.
But in this, it shows him and he's crushed by the dock.
But he's also got chains all over him.
Right. Okay. I confused.
I think you. Yeah, he gets trapped down there a couple times, but yeah, when he leaves, you can even see all the chains like falling after he gets shocked, because the anchor that they drop opens a giant, I don't know, power line cable thing that's, I guess, powering all of Camp Crystal Lake, which has been rebuilt so many times at this point. But yeah, it hits that, and then his chains get electrified, and he's once again brought to consciousness via electricity, which is how he became a zombie in the first place. I don't know. There, in the one movie where Tommy Jarvis digs him up and stabs him with a piece of a fence and gets lightning rotted back to life, that sort of implies that that's how you bring Jason back, even though I don't think they do it all the time. They do it in this one, but it also...
He's a Frankenstein. He's a Frankenstein deadite.
Yeah. But I do like the fact that this recanting of the Jason tale feels like they're around a campfire, even though they're just 2 horny teenagers in a boat. It has the appropriate vibe of the earlier Jason movies, which I appreciated, because they haven't done that in a few movies up to this point, and I like that they brought it back. But it is weird that they're listening to like a radio, right? Like, and the radio host is like talking about a bunch of stuff in New York. They're just like kind of setting up things down the line. But this radio host sounds like he's trying to be like sexy talking, and then but he also sounds like he's about to yawn the whole time. He's like, like it's so strange. But I couldn't stop thinking that he was gonna yawn at the end.
When Jason takes a step onto the boat, he's so fucking gooey.
It's like they just lathered him up with goo. They just got him to dunk himself in like a tub of KY jelly or something because it's drippy and slimy as fuck.
Yeah, he looks like Ghostbusters.
I think that's like a rebirth kind of analogy. You know, he's been rebirthed and he's covered in
the goo of
afterbirth.
life. Yeah,
Yeah,
placenta. Yeah,
he's more placenta than man.
My
They
note
do the
just says,
class-
so gooey, so gooey, and also, did he just laugh? Why is he laughing? That's a Siamese cat.
Your freaky Siamese cat wants to be on the show. We have a lot of cats and dogs on this podcast. It's great. Really gets the people going. I think it's funny.
Two of those or just one of those?
I have 2 cats, but only one Siamese.
Oh, I see. My sister has 2 Siamese cats.
That must be her house must be so loud.
I mean, they're pretty quiet when I'm there, but they also like knot up in each other like a ball. Like it's crazy. You can't tell which one is which sometimes. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
There's
Anyway.
the great tropey moment where there's a noise outside. He says, "I'll go check." And the girl's like, "Stop messing around." And then he pranks her with a fake knife and mask, a fake like retractable knife. But the mask, did you notice?
Which is like a TikTok trend right now, weirdly. Like that's what's happening recently. People stabbing their spouses with a fake knife and like you know, freaking them out, which I'm like, this is not this is a horrifying prank. Imagine you thought the person you trusted most came after you with a knife and stabbed you. Like
yeah, it's not okay.
Yeah.
But did you notice? So in this universe, they don't really say where this mask came from. Is Jason mask? Is it like this the Scream mask you can just buy in stores? Because it has the cut in it.
It's really stupid. It's like
I don't know if you guys noticed that.
My note says, "Good thing he had a screen accurate Jason Voorhees mask lying around."
Yeah.
Because it has all of the details of what has occurred to him battle damage wise over the course of the several movies, and so Jason can just put it on and wear it, and it's like just looks like it belongs.
It lines up perfectly too with the like chop on his head.
I'm thinking like this would have been probably nightmare territory for continuity for this movie, but I thought it'd be cool if he just had like a brand new goalie mask, like super clean and white. And then Jason puts that on, and there would be this like heavy contrast to like the goo and muck and like nastiness of his body with this just like pristine white hockey mask, and maybe even have like a gooey handprint on it, like a muck handprint from when he puts it on.
When he puts
and
it on, that'd be
slowly,
awesome.
He'd slowly become dirtier and damaged throughout the movie. But you know, that's just me thinking about it for 2 seconds.
Which they didn't in this. It seems like
$5.1 million behind me to make it happen. But like, I think that would be cool because, you know, Jason always has a really nasty mucked up mask throughout. And it would be interesting to have just this sort of like really clean, pristine looking thing to contrast just how nasty he actually is. But they didn't do that. They made a Walmart mask that just matches perfectly to this muck man.
A shopper's drug mart mask.
Yeah. Or maybe that guy's really artistic and he's like, I heard he got a machete in his head, and he's like doing it himself, like in his shed before they go, I'm gonna prank my girlfriend so good this weekend. What do you guys think of the mask I made? Looks pretty good, Stu. Good job.
Because this movie is nautical themed too, he grabs Jason gets his mask, he grabs a harpoon gun. He just stabs Jim. I think his name's Jim or Stu. Did you just say Stu, or I think his name's
Stu
Jim?
Is just like a first name that popped in my head.
Okay.
Who gives a shit? These 2 characters die immediately.
But he stabs Jim with the whole gun.
Yeah. Oh, his name's Gilligan, it says here.
It says where?
Yeah, I just read it. My made up
list. The acting for this death is like one of the worst on-screen deaths I think I've ever seen in my life. He goes,
It's not that bad. I mean, it's pretty bad, but it's not that bad. I honestly don't think that any of the acting in this movie is that bad. Like, It's not atrocious. I've seen some pretty horrible acting in these Friday the 13th movies since the beginning of its inception up to its end. And this movie, there was never a performance that I was like, oh, brother, this is shit. It was just kind of like, whatever, you know, I didn't even really think about it.
Well, the girl hides and Jason just fucking stabs her.
My note for this was both of these are really boring, shitty deaths. Because they are. They're not fun. They're not interesting. Like he has a harpoon. Do something cool with the harpoon. You know what he does with it? Misses twice.
Yeah.
and then
just uses the whole gun.
pokes down in a hole and be like, gotcha.
But it also kind of didn't feel like Jason. Of all the things he could grab, like he grabbed a gun. It felt like kind of like weird. Like a harpoon gun is like it's almost a knife.
He's used a harpoon gun before.
I've seen him use a harpoon before.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the first time.
There's precedent.
He used one in the third movie. He shoots a guy from pretty far away too, like all the way across a pond, and hits him like right in the face.
Speaking of the other movies, this one has him blasting through walls and throwing people through windows so much, and we'll obviously talk about it.
But also daintily opening a door at one point, and leaning in like bump, 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 like a fucking Agatha Christie villain or something.
Excuse me.
Is anybody in here? Oh my god, yeah, it's so it's like they don't know what they're doing. Like, when does Jason Voorhees daintily open a door silently and like look around in a room? There's so many moments where other characters are seeing him or we're seeing him doing things that we don't need to see him doing, and it like almost like turns the threat level down in a way that's like dumb. Like, it's not. Anyway, I don't want to shit on this movie too much because it's not horrible. If you like Jason Voorhees movies, you'll probably like it a little bit.
Yeah. So we go over to like the group of kids getting onto the boat.
He closes the hatch and then we're like, new movie now. These kids are dead. Don't worry. Never think of them again. And we don't have to.
This could have been the cold open if it wasn't a Manhattan movie, right? Like, if the New York stuff doesn't come into it.
Did Jason travel on that boat?
He takes the boat.
He takes that. It's a pretty big boat. How does Jason know how to pilot that thing? Or is it during this current just took him?
During this next sequence, that like deckhand who's kind of like the soothsayer Tommy Jarvis-esque character for this movie.
No, he's like the old man from the first couple movies.
Or the old man, yeah. He's a soothsayer. Yeah. He sees the boat coming in, and I think clocks Jason driving it because he's like, oh shit. And he starts trying to warn people, and they're like, Jason Voorhees died years ago. Yeah.
And he's got like a captain's hat on over his mask.
Michael Myers can drive cars. Jason can drive boats.
Jason can drive boats, yeah. Is it drive a boat or pilot a boat? I feel like it's pilot. Or is it captain?
Commandeer.
I think it's fly.
It's probably fly. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, where is Crystal Lake? Crystal Lake somehow goes all the way to
the ocean,
Manhattan somehow.
I mean, there's a lot of lakes in Ontario.
I mean, it's a lake. Lakes are supposed to be contained, aren't they?
Not
the geography of
the Great Lakes in Ontario are connected via the St. Lawrence River to the ocean. So you don't. It just has to be surrounded by a body of land in order for it to be considered a lake.
The geography of Friday the 13th is insane, and it's all over the place.
Well, this is the same thing this is the same thing we've talked about on every fucking time we talk about these movies, which is the whole idea behind Elm Street is every town has an Elm Street. Like, it doesn't actually matter, and like sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there. But I'm sure if you were to look into it, it could tell you exactly where all this is. Because in Jason versus Freddy, which we watched last week, they drive from Springdale to Crystal Lake in less than a couple hours. So it has to be somewhere within a few hours of wherever Freddy's domain is, you know? North, south, east, west, nope, nobody knows.
Uh-oh.
Who is?
Hey, Jason. Hey, Steven. Dave Mater here. And I just wanted to send you guys a big congratulations on hitting
5-year anniversary.
Hey, did you see this one? That's an incredible milestone. And you've built something truly special. And I am very proud of you guys. Glad to call you my friends. I've had the pleasure of joining you on your show twice. Maybe not enough, but once was to talk about James Bond in The Living Daylights, and the other time was to talk about Jumanji. And both of you are always a blast. And I've got to say, I heard those episodes that I was on had some of the highest view counts ever. Just saying, maybe it's time to bring me back for a third episode. I'm available, gentlemen. Let's break another record. It's been awesome collaborating with you guys across the United Federation of Podcasts, whether it's having you on Live Long and Podcast or Super Mater Brothers or Trivial Debates, where you both have brought your A game over and over. Jason, you've been a regular with us on our Survivor coverage over on Super Mater Brothers. And Steven, your voice work on Star Trek Radio Theater and elsewhere has been phenomenal. You guys bring your characters to life in a way that is unforgettable, and it is so well done. You've created a show that's smart, it's entertaining, and it's a cornerstone of our podcast community. So here's to
5 years.
to keeping that going, because we're all watching, listening, and loving it. So live long and podcast, my friends, and congratulations once again. We'll see you around.
Oh, he really stumbled over the word friends. He was like, I'm proud to call you guys, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but friends?
Yeah.
Also, he called us smart, and I don't know if he saw our previous conversations at all. So there's some intelligence, I would say. Thanks, Dave.
Just a sweeping smart statement.
Yeah, you're smart.
Okay. So we're introduced to our crop of teens who are going to die. But first we're introduced to a woman who we think is a mom and is actually a teacher, and then a man who we think is a principal but is actually an uncle.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there's so much happening here.
And Chekhov's fountain pen.
Oh yeah.
And Stephen King's fountain pen. I think I wrote later in my notes like Stephen King's pen saves the day. It is funny that she's probably like secretly obsessed with Stephen King, but it never is brought up again. Maybe they just didn't want to like have to go through any sort of like legal red tape to reference any of his work or anything. But like, it is a horror movie, and I assume that they believe, the people who made this movie, that there's probably a crossover between Stephen King readers and Jason Voorhees fanatics. I don't know how true that is, but maybe there's a bit. I do think I think
it's a reasonable statement. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of information to take in a short period of time. And that pen does not come nearly become nearly as useful as I thought it would be. Because again, this my brain refuses to hold on to the details of this movie. And as I was watching, I was like, why this movie's not that bad? Why does my brain refuse to remember what happens? And then as it goes, I'm like, oh, because all the stuff that happens is not like a grand revelation. You think it is for a second, and then it turns out that it's just bullshit, and you don't actually care. And that's why when the movie is turned off, in a few days, everything that I've retained for this conversation is going to be ejected from my brain, and I'm not going to remember until the next time.
Some movies on this show you have to watch like very close to the episode, or else it just disappears. And I'm glad I watched this yesterday, because
I watched it today because I knew for a fact that it would be gone.
Yeah, and all that stuff with the pen, I actually think a sword would have been mightier, if I'm going to be honest.
It's true.
Yeah, probably.
Especially against Jason.
It's a really
Voorhees,
good call, Michael.
who usually uses a sword, but he doesn't use a sword in this movie. A machete's kind of like a sword, right?
Oh yeah, he didn't use even hold one. That's just
There's
like
a point
iconic.
You know the point where he grabs that sort of like old style harpoon?
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of machetes around. He doesn't like, they're all on the wall, and he just grabs the big one, kills the guy, leaves it in him, and then doesn't grab a machete. I'm like, Jason, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, Jason? Which is usually what I say to Jason or Phillips after the show every week. What are you doing?
Or during the show.
Sometimes during, yeah.
Yeah. I also was interested in like how Rennie's connected to all this, because right from the get-go, like before we know that she's got a fear of water because of all the stuff that we learn about her, they're like, you can't get on this boat. And I was like, is she from another movie? But she's not. She has the Final Destination sight power that some people in the Friday the 13th universe have, where they are somehow linked to Jason. It's not really the sight power. It's more like that's my little theory about her too. And like,
well, the last movie was all about somebody with telekinesis. That's how they
Right.
defeated Jason, was
Yes.
by like using her
Yes.
magic brain powers to like levitate
So
couches at him and stuff.
So she's kind of got a little bit of that, is what it feels like.
I wrote that
but
she has a different brand. She's got like
Yeah.
a different brand of psychic powers. She doesn't have the telekinetic abilities, but she has the ability to like read Jason's mind and experience his experiences or whatever. Or at the
Because
very least connect with him on some sort of like mind meld way.
it did feel a little bit loose. It's like because Jason tried to pull her underwater when she was younger. Now, because of that and that alone, she is like connected to him.
Yeah.
It
It's
seemed
like-
a little like tenuous. I don't know.
It's not explained enough for us to understand it. You need a Pamela Voorhees force ghost to show up to be like, my son should have killed you when you were a little girl, and now he will always follow you until the day you die.
Yeah.
Every time you go into water, he knows. He knows where you are at that moment. In that moment,
It's insane that lore-wise, Freddy versus Jason like makes more sense because that movie's insane.
But I mean, when I was watching this, I was like, 4 moments stood out to me where I'm like, well, isn't it logically this is where he would show up, right? Like, when they push her in the water and she's like, I can't swim or whatever. That's when Jason should be like, like he should be underwater and like sense, like Pirates of the Caribbean when they drop the coin in or whatever, and then the pirates know where the coin is. Because he tried to kill her when she was a kid, he has this connection to her and will know where she is when she falls into a body of water and can go to her. Like that, then you can kind of like understand that he has a connection, but you don't really get that at all. It just seems like she's seeing ghosts and shit. And you're like, what's going on? This is what I was talking about earlier. I'm like, can someone please explain to me how this is working and why? And I guess
what are the rules?
Tenuous, and it's like it's almost strenuous on your mind to be like, what are you saying? Like, I don't understand what you're saying. But it almost seems like there was probably ideas that got lost in either the edit or the rewrites, and like they had these holdovers, and they're like, no, Jason just shows up on a boat and starts killing everybody. But it's like, but we have this psychic connection. How does that going to play into it? Don't worry about it. She'll see a bunch of spooky ghost images or whatever, and his hair will.
It's 1988. And you know how much cocaine we're on right now? Also, they churned this movie out in a year because the last movie came out the previous year, which is insane.
Well,
so
that's how these movies were for a long time.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about now. Like it's never less than 2 years between sequels nowadays.
Yeah, like if that psychic connection thing wasn't in the movie, it's the same movie. It didn't really
absolutely, yeah.
It didn't really it didn't really affect anything in any significant way. It just felt like filler, or like you said, like a holdover. For some reason, they just didn't remove it. I felt like it did not.
Well, yeah, I think that people liked it in the movie previous to this. There was like this character who had the ability to light things on fire with her mind and float stuff, and like it was this whole thing where it's like, oh, this is like a magic world, and so you can kind of buy into Jason more believably, and even her psychic power, because Jason is this sort of undead monster creature, and you're like, oh, magic exists in the world. Let's put that into this one as well. But then they didn't really develop it. And like you said, it doesn't affect anything, because if she's not seeing the ghosts, nothing happens. Her character doesn't develop because of it. The revelation that her uncle pushed her into the water doesn't do anything beyond it, other than to show that she saw Jason when she was a kid. But that doesn't really impact what happens in the story in any way. She doesn't have a moment where she's trying to like save Jason or connect with Jason or be like, we both drown, remember? Like none of that happens. It's all just there. It's muck. It's toxic waste is what it is, people. Maybe that's why they left it in. Yeah, they're like, you don't know this, but at the end of this movie, it floods with toxic waste. The whole thing, everything's gonna get mystified. I'm telling you.
That's right. Speaking of elements of this movie, we're introduced to Sean and the captain of the ship, who's his dad. Sean's kind of like the other main role. Who's a teenager. The dad wants to like give his kid the boat one day. He's like, you're gonna be a captain no matter what. And the kid doesn't really seem super into it, because he's like, now what do we do when we take off? And he pretty much had it. He just didn't fucking pull on the horn. Like, get out of here, dad. And also Jason is a stowaway.
Listen, Jason,
'Cause he
clearly
just
you've
pops
never
up.
been on a fucking boat before because you need to honk before you leave port.
I've been on a
Don't you
boat
know-
before.
Don't you know that? I know. I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
I should have known. I should have known when he was like, "What else?" It's like, yeah, you got to pull that fucking.
But
that
he
horn.
loses his temper real quick.
Yes, that's
we've
what I'm
gone
saying.
over this 1,000 times kind of attitude, which is like, oh, and then he's really harsh, and then he just leaves, right? And then even his buddy's like, after he gives him a bunch of tools that you're like, oh, I wonder if these tools are going to come in handy later. He's like, I got this sextant when I was a kid and I used it to be able to find my way through the ocean no matter what. As long as it was a starry night, I could find my way anywhere. But now everybody uses these fucking computers to do everything. But he also has a computer thing in there with it. And you know what happens at the end? He doesn't use any of the fucking tools. He uses the computer thing that his dad told him was a bunch of bullshit. And like, you're just kind of like, why is that even in there then? Like, what? Get it out. Like, who gives a shit? I wrote, oh, principal uncle asshole is an asshole, but so is dad, captain dad asshole. But at least Captain Dad asshole realized that he fucked up, because after he yelled at his kid, his friend looked at him and he's like, oh shit, true. I probably should have walked him through it a little bit more genuinely and been a dad and not a captain for 5 minutes. My wife keeps saying I act like a captain all the time, but that's why she married me, goddammit.
Honk, honk, honk the horn, kid. Guys, this cruise has everything: shuffleboard, dancing, kissing,
shotguns,
skeet shooting, dog. And I think they're playing Duran Duran. I didn't look it up, but if they got a Duran Duran song, that probably was like $100,000. We get the classic kids doing their thing. It's not Crystal Lake, but it is on a cruise ship. And I did like this sequence because you're sort of pseudo meeting people here. You're sort of seeing all the moving parts, which was very nice. Rennie and Sean kind of discuss with one another how she didn't make it home, and he got her a Statue of Liberty necklace to commemorate that they're going to New York. And I think we get the idea that these two are together.
I mean,
or
that
are trying to start something.
They're interested in each other, I think. There's like a weird, like, this is another thing, is like, you don't really give a shit about these characters because you don't have enough information about them, and all these opportunities for us to be able to understand who they are left in this weird limbo where it's like they'll be able to infer what's going on from this, but we're like, no, we can't, because you're not giving us any information at all except that she's like mildly weird and everyone's like, why is she here? But no one's like gossiping about it, no one's talking about it. It just like they're trying to develop too many characters at the same time without giving us enough about any of them. Like, I was way more interested in the guitar girl.
Me too.
And then she dies seconds later. Like, and I'm like, oh, the most visually interesting character who has the most attitude. And like, I'm like, I can't wait to see how she's gonna die way later on in the movie. No, she dies immediately. And you're like, okay.
So this is a thought I have in a lot of like these shorter, earlier.
Oh, we also learned that uncle principal dad is like overly protective in a weird way.
Yeah.
He also is such an asshole. There's like not a single moment in this movie where he doesn't feel like an asshole.
No,
maybe
he's that
like,
character that's always naysaying everything that everybody's
there's like
doing.
maybe one tiny snippet of humanity that he has at one point, which we'll talk about when we get there. But other than that, he's just a dick the whole time. And he's the worst of it, where he's like, why are you here? Like, why would you say that? Like, she's like, well, I'm here. Like, we've already cast off Doc. Like, can you like start the conversation a little bit more?
It's not too late for us to turn the boat around.
Like, maybe say something like, I'm glad you're here, but why did you decide to come? Not why are you here?
Just before I forget my thought, I wanted to ask you guys, because in these old 80s movies, they're usually about 87 to like 95 minutes. And this one has so many competing ideas that seemed like they weren't expanded upon. Do you think this movie would benefit from just cutting all that superfluous stuff, or make the movie 10 or 15 minutes longer and expand on the ideas? Which do you think would make it better?
It didn't need to be longer. I would be against the idea of making it longer, I think.
I don't think that it needs to be longer either. I think that you tighten it up and you focus more, and you get rid of a bunch of the stuff that is superfluous or that doesn't make sense. Because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, that doesn't need to be there, where you could spend time at least getting us to care about some of these characters before they die. And I know that Voorhees movies are not necessarily about character development. They're not necessarily about the characters and us getting to know them. But like, if you watch something like even the third one, which I don't particularly like, I do start to like feel connected to a lot of the characters before they die. When that character, the rocker girl, I don't even know her name, when she gets killed, I was disappointed because I'm like, too early. You started killing too early. You need like at least 10 more minutes of character development before you start killing these people, because I don't know anything about her. All I know is that she maybe has a crush on Glasses Boy, because I think his name is Wayne, because like she's like, stay away from him. Stay away from her. She's a prick. And he's like, but she's fucking hot. And I'm like, well, clearly this rocker girl likes Glasses Boy. Like, they need to have some more development. And then she fucking dies. And it's like, okay. And they do that a bunch of times. The first like 3 kills in this movie are characters that you don't even have time to learn their names before they're dead. Like the guy who gets the rock in his chest. And anyway, my point I think is made is that like they don't spend enough time with any character for us to dislike them enough to see them die, or to like them enough to see them want to live. And that's the issue, because in a good horror movie, which Friday the 13th movies have a few in them, you spend time developing a character. I don't know anything about the main character in this movie who drowned via her uncle pushing her into the lake when she was a kid at all, other than that fact. I don't know anything else about her other than her parents died.
Honestly, I didn't even catch her name.
Remy, yeah, her name is Remy. Remy LeBeau. She's a detective,
Remy.
She's a private detective, and she has a rat under her detective hat that solves it by pulling her hair. Remy
oh wow,
LeBeau.
I must have missed that part completely. That's now I like the movie.
It takes part in the Ratatouille universe. You know those
The
rats at the end that
Ratatouille-verse?
were, yeah, the toxic waste with all the rats floating in it at the end. Those rats were just sleeping. That's where they sleep to get their powers back. It's called a TW bath.
Yeah.
they go in there to recharge.
Teaches you how to it Ninja Turtles you. Instead of becoming a fighter, you learn how to make the best ever ratatouille.
Yeah.
We kind of covered Uncle Charles. Says Rennie's been through this already. That's what I was confused about. We're introduced to the rock girl and videographer guy.
Oh, can I say one thing about Uncle Charles?
Of course.
Because you mentioned him. Of course, he was completely one-dimensional, just jerk, mean guy. But he was, I mean, it's hard to, I mean, he was the only one that was making any sense when he was just like, stop saying it's Jason. Stop saying it's a magical corpse man.
I used to say that to people to scare them. I made that shit up. Yeah, like he's a corpse. Yeah.
Like, he's not wrong about that. You're talking about a mystical corpse goblin from under the sea. Of course it's not that.
Yeah.
It's something else.
He also and not even just that. He like everything that he says and does is logical. He's just such an asshole that it comes off as being unreasonable, because everything that he's saying is in such an aggressive tone that you're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But everything he says is pretty much right. Even like at the end when they're like, let's follow those rapists. He's like, no, didn't you just hear what they said? They're going to kill her if we follow. We have to go find the police. Let's split up and no one follow, but we will help her. But it's like, everything he's saying is making sense. But like, even when there's a moment for everyone to be quiet, he uses it as an opportunity to criticize somebody.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. He'd had big time principal energy, like stereotypical principal, or like the college dean kind of,
or like vice principal, the principal who's not like actually in charge, but he like, he's
like on a power trip or whatever.
He's just too heavily.
Yeah. But like, he wasn't that at all, was he? He was just an uncle.
He was a teacher. He was a teacher. I don't know what he taught, was but
Rennie's legal guardian. That's really all that they.
But he's
describe.
also a teacher of the school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't. Oh.
Oh, hello. I'm Craig. You might remember me from some episodes of Hey, did you see this one? It's a podcast. I'm just kidding, of course. I know the podcast very well, and I love Steven and Jason very much. I'm always so honored when they have me on the podcast.
5-year anniversary.
Congratulations, guys. Hopefully we get
5 years
more and beyond. And I'm looking forward to being on more episodes. So let's make some more. Oh, pardon me. I have some work to get back to.
I like that bit. I've been laughing about it all day, making these stupid fucking.
Oh, your bit?
This
I like
bit.
the glasses bit. The glasses bit is funny.
I think the glasses bit is straight up good. Yeah. What's
Hello.
up, Emmanuel Legendary? Yeah, drop us a follow, please. Follow us at Hey, did you see this one? Insanity. So we were introduced to the idea that Jason murders once again when Rock Chick, whose name I'm great at names. I didn't clock her name by this point.
We didn't get enough time to even. I don't know if they even say it. Did they say it? Who knows?
I think so. So she goes underneath to like the engine area. What do you even call that?
Middle finger.
The middle finger. Okay. Okay. Well, that's
Jason sucks and the movie's bad.
Oh my god.
Which Jason? Me? My name's Jason. This is so confusing.
I think she meant you specifically. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I do suck.
Did she watch the movie with you? I assume, yeah.
No, I tried to get her to do it, but she wanted to play Fortnite instead, so I lost that argument.
Well, it happens.
And I did invite Mariana to come talk about the movie with us, but instead she brought a cat.
That's okay. So this asshole was in Star Trek. Oh no, so that's just my note about that. The uncle asshole.
He was in Star Trek?
He was in an episode of Star Trek where they find a bunch of frozen people in like artificial or whatever you call it, like hypersleep or whatever, and they unfreeze them all. And he's like, "I need to check my stock portfolios." And he's playing basically the same character as this character, where he's just an asshole to everybody on the bridge, and he's like a pure capitalist. And then like by the end, he goes up to deal with like Cardassians or something. And he's like, "He's lying to you. I understand the art of the deal. Haven't you read Donald Trump's book?" or whatever. He goes up and like deals with the Cardassians by using old capitalist tricks.
That's insane.
But yeah, he plays basically the same character. The deck swabber is a loony, but we all know that the loonies are always right in these movies.
What's the under part of the boat called in this area?
The lower decks? The
lower decks. So Rock Chick goes down. She's trying to find the best acoustics to play her electric guitar with the amp. As she's playing, Jason grabs her fucking sweet flying V and beats her relentlessly with it.
I wrote, there's a Freddy Krueger level of this video game.
That's what I was trying to, yeah.
Because it looks like a Freddy Krueger area.
Yeah, to me it was really giving like New York City, like fire escape kind of vibes.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that was some visual foreshadowing that we didn't really pick up on, but maybe you're a genius, Mike.
Maybe. I didn't say it, but a lot of people have been saying it, so it's probably something there.
A lot of people have been saying it.
What do you think is the metaphor for getting hit in the head with your guitar to death?
That's like really feeling the music.
Just watching this movie.
Having one with your art.
In your own time.
She died within minutes of meeting her. I don't even know her name, is what I wrote. And I was quite excited to learn more about this character, and I thought that maybe she's going to be a badass throughout. But nope.
She was like the punk lady from that Friday the 13th who was like addicted to the drugs, and then Freddy's like, "Here's heroin, bitch," and puts.
I thought that she was like Fox from Friday the 13th,
from the X-Files.
Yeah, Fox Mulder. Yeah. There's a character named Fox in the third one, and she wears like a red bandana and a leather jacket, and she's very intense, and she ends up dying in a horrific barn accident by Jason Voorhees. But we don't even get to see like what her personality is. Is this just an affectation? Is she actually punk? She plays music, we know that, but we don't know what her attitude is, other than she doesn't like sort of shitty, manipulative blonde women, which who doesn't hate them?
Right.
And then my next note is the last movie had psychic powers. This one has visions. Lame.
Lame. Jason's stalking Rennie at this point, and I wrote, "Is Rennie like related to Jason or something?" She sees a vision of Jason as a kid in the of the porthole, like swimming up to the porthole like window. They also did an interesting shot through the window here, where the camera goes from Jason's POV through the window up to Rennie, and I was like, "How did they do that as a continuous cut? Did they have to feed the camera like through the window, or did they just zoom?" I didn't really understand how they did the shot. Do you know the shot I mean? Basically up like the side of the boat. He's on the outside, and the POV goes from looking at Jason to his point of view to right through the window, right up close to Rennie.
There's possible ways they could do it, which is pass the camera to somebody else with like a Steadicam weight upon it, so it doesn't cause jitter. There might be a moment of black where you can do a sneaky cut that you're not aware of.
Or sometimes they can just pull the walls away and then push the camera through.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't even know the one. There's a couple of cool shots in this movie though. Like I wrote every time one popped up, I was like, that was a cool shot. It's a shame that this movie sucks. If only this movie wasn't so bad, I would talk more about it. My next note is, there's a boxing room on this boat. No girls allowed.
The
You can't have girls in there. They can only watch through the windows above.
I wrote muscular boys boxing, girls watch from the wings. They get sensual for another deckhand when that like older, like the third shipmate walks by. Tamara is like, "Ooh, look at him." And from my point of view, this guy looks like he's 50, but it's 1989, so this guy could have been 28.
Yeah, and also this character is like, I think that what they're trying to do to us as an audience is like show that she's hypersexualized, and that she also is doing like a bunch of cocaine, which like makes you horny or whatever, but also is willing to just fuck anybody, which will make it more believable later on when you see her trying to fuck the principal uncle dad or whatever his name is, uncle art teacher. What do you guys think he teaches in this high school? History,
yeah,
it's definitely
literally
not
history.
It's definitely not like drama or phys ed or something like that.
Yeah, it's something
like English or history or like
English probably is right. Yeah, dusty old English teacher. I like,
or he's literally the vice principal, like Steve said earlier. Like,
but he says he's your. He says I'm your teacher a bunch of times, which I'm like, a vice principal would flex that title.
I'm the vice principal.
Yeah,
you listen to me. Tamara and her follower, whose name I never really caught, they do cocaine together. Rennie catches them, but she's just looking for her dog, and Jason's in pursuit of all of them. Charles walks in and catches them. She drops the mirror. She doesn't catches them, but he does say, "Are you girls using drugs?" They still have to do schoolwork on this. This is something. It's true. He can smell it in the air. They still have to do homework on this trip. And he says your biology homework. So I think that might be a clue that he's the biology teacher.
Oh, he's a science teacher. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird. It is very weird that, and it seemingly this is like their celebration of the end of their high school career kind of thing. Like,
but there's still a month left of school, is what it seems like. You still have to like hand in your essays. That would suck. When I went on my grade 9 trip to Toronto, there was no school mentioned, but the people who didn't go on the trip had to stay back and do school. So that's terrible.
Yeah. It's meant to be a learning excursion when you go to a big city. I went to Washington when I was a kid. I went to New York when I was a kid on these school trips. And every time it was like, we go to museums and we learn about the city. We learn about like the history of everything. And it was cool. It was fun. But then it's also, a lot of it is like the teachers are clearly getting drunk.
Yeah. And also hopefully Jason doesn't fucking appear on your airplane or boat, and a storm at the same time doesn't also hit your airplane or boat. How come Jason's never terrorized people on a luxury airplane, like in Snakes on a Plane? I think there's enough room in there for him to.
I don't know about that. I feel like even this big ass boat was a stretch. Or I'm like, what is he doing? Like, it has to take place over a few hours.
Who's here?
Jason, Steve, on behalf of me and this squirrel with the chocolate chip cookie, I just wanted to say congratulations on 203 episodes of the podcast. That's something truly remarkable. Almost as remarkable as this squirrel with a chocolate chip cookie. Love ya.
Love ya is a thing that
Love ya.
I say to Alex every time I leave him in chat.
Thanks, Alex. That was great.
Thank you, Alex. We love you.
We love you.
So yeah, these high schoolers are just casually doing cocaine, and this is the other part that bugs me about the scene is that she goes one way, right? And like, do you think she's gonna narc on us? And then he comes from the other side. They are startled. They drop their cocaine, the mirror shatters. And then after, she's like, that fucking narc told on us. And it's like, she went that way. He came from that way. Like, you think she did like a crazy loop around?
Well, the
It was
boat,
like, Principal Dickhead.
The boat's so
Uncle
small.
Principal Dickhead.
Yeah, Uncle Principal Dickhead. Yeah, you said it all. Tamara does reveal that Rennie is afraid of the water here, which is kind of a revelation, I guess. This is the first time that we really why is everybody coddling Rennie? And why are they afraid of her
I'm
too?
Also afraid of the water, but I know how to swim because I'm afraid of the water. I insisted on it as a kid. And also I'm not scared of being on a boat. I'm scared of going underwater. Like being underwater is terrifying to me. I don't want to do it. So I don't know. It just seems like you shouldn't have brought her here. She's scared of water. Don't you know that? And it's like, okay. But we don't get enough of, again, we've already talked, we don't need to keep talking about it, but we don't know enough about it. We don't feel that connection until it's almost like too late in the movie where we're like,
I know.
oh, okay.
I brought it up just because it was the first time anybody really said what the deal is.
And they're like, why are you scared of the water? And she's like, I don't want to swim, which also attempted murder.
Yeah.
Like you just
Literally.
pushed somebody off a fucking cruise boat. That's attempted murder, no matter if they can swim or not, because you don't know.
Well, one of the teen boys from the boxing match goes into the sauna. Jason clocks him in the sauna, and I like that when he walks around. Jason's still totally soaked from head to toe this whole time. So if you were wearing headphones, you can hear him squelching. So if Jason can't be quiet, he's going quick, around this whole bout, which I think is hilarious. But Jason fucking guts this guy with a pumice stone from the sauna. And when he stabs it into his stomach or his chest, and when they zoom out, it's in two different places. But when he stabs it into him, a little bit of flame comes out, which was hilarious because that's not how that works. And those stones don't get hot enough to really do that. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was a really funny visual to see his clearly they put a hot stone into a fake plastic corpse and some flames came out.
I think it was the nastiest death in the movie. It was the one that made me go,
gnarly.
ooh. And it was the one that the anticipation was built appropriately. I was nervous for this man. I was like, what's he going to do? Hit him in the head with it? Is he going to put the flaming rock on his tummy and let it slowly burn its way into his guts? How is this going to work? And then he just jams it in his chest. And I'm like, okay, all right. Not what I was expecting, but okay, it's fine.
And they zoom out and they show
him
him
the same thing.
They show him with the stone in his chest too, which I thought was interesting.
I thought that he was going to hold him down by the towel and then burn it slowly into him. I thought that's what was going to happen, or put it on his stomach or something, and you're going to see guts and shit. But again, this movie is not as gory as a lot of these Friday movies are. Even Freddy versus Jason was a little bit more nasty.
Yeah, a little bit more gnarly, a lot more blood. That's your mind prison showing too. I still have the same thing where I always think kills are going to be so much worse than they are, and this actually does that bullshit of he's about to kill somebody with a knife later in New York, and it just cuts away.
They do it
a lot
tons of times in this movie, so many times. Which is fine because it can be just as impactful if you don't see anything, but in this movie it's usually pretty lame.
Mhm.
Like the wrench to the guy's head in the sewer later. He's like, no, please, no. Just like a
And
bunch of
clearly
so late delay blood splatter. You're like, oh man, retake that or speed it
and
up.
clearly in the silhouette, he hits him on the shoulder.
I mean, that's just shadows.
Yeah.
So we have the attempted murder where the coked up fucking bimbo tosses her into the lake or whatever. I assume they're on a lake still. And then Uncle Pervert Dad, Principal, Vice Principal, Penis shows up and goes, "Good God, what's happening?" Boy jumps in and saves her because no one else is. Also, what's teacher doing? The other teacher, lady teacher,
just around. I think
she's just like,
she's
here,
not really
take
in
the
this movie.
floaty, get the floaty. She throws the floaty down,
Yeah.
and she's so bad at swimming that she can't even move inches over to grab the the fucking floaty. Yeah, this whole sequence is just like, okay.
There's also the thing where Rennie, like, we get the flash of her being dragged down by Child Jason.
Yeah.
Sometimes Child Jason has a regular face. Later in the movie, Child Jason has the freaky Jason face, where one of his eyes is just kind of lower.
This is one of those. This is a Jason movie where they're trying to connect the first movie to this movie because, as we know, at the end of the first movie, little freaky Jason jumps out of the lake and pulls the character in or whatever, which is never really made clear whether that's real or not. Who knows? But are we meant to believe that he's, like you said, like a little goblin man floating around, like just swimming around down there waiting for people, being like, come down with me to the depths where I live? Like, I don't know. I always thought that was sort of like meant to be just this sort of ghostly thing that exists as a rumor around the lake and not a literal fact that he was a little freaky baby down there and grew into a giant hockey player.
Yeah, so what is the lore, the Jason lore? You guys would know better than me. So he drowned as a boy, and then he continued to age somehow into like a big beefy man underwater.
Yeah, so the first movie he's meant to be killed in the water as a boy. So he dies as a boy by drowning. And then in the second movie, he's actually the killer and he's now a full-grown mutant man. And we're at that point, he's still alive. Like, he didn't actually drown. He's just been living there as a mutant. And in the third movie, he's still sort of this mutant man. And then in the fourth movie, that's when he becomes zombie monster man.
Well, is the fifth movie the one that's the copycat killer one?
Yes. Oh,
Return to the Barn.
Yes.
Was that the fourth one?
No, that's the fifth one. That's the one where it's the ambulance driver is the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah, it is bad.
Ben just sent me a meme. Here's the meme. It's pretty funny. If you know, you know. Okay. Well.
Yep. I mean, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I agree that it's a meme. I agree with that part of what you said.
The soothsayer deckhand also interjects during this and is basically like, it was Jason. I saw him. He rode a boat in. He got on this boat and he's here. And Charles is like, you get out of here, you freak. There's no such thing. This corpse man isn't
kicks
around.
him in the butt and he's like, get out of here, you fucking pervert. Anyway, I'm going to go make out with a teenager. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. It's fucking gross. I don't like this. I don't like any of it. I think that all of it is gross. Like, there's not a single part of it where I'm like, you can't defend any angle of it. You know, like the whole thing is just like disgusting and weird.
Right before that, though, the note that I wrote was Rennie's tripping out. Water turns to blood and baby Dork comes out of the mirror. Well, I'm glad I wrote that down. But yes, this is the part you're talking about where the Tamara and video man, the guy with the camera, sort of set up this plan to like blackmail him so they don't have to turn in their projects. What is this, Saved by the Bell, but the worst possible version of it?
It's so weird. But also she's like, now she has double reason to blackmail him because she attempted to murder somebody on the boat. Also, she's doing cocaine and drinking alcohol, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? She paints her biology homework on her body and is like, I'm hot, let's fuck. And he's like, and he goes on the bed and makes it. It's like it's really gross.
And
it's
then
basically like
after-
a 60-year-old man making out with like an 18-year-old girl, and it's gross on all.
And then after all of that, when they're full, they got the whole thing on camera. They're going to use it to their advantage. You know, he's not going to tell on her. She's not going to tell on him. Whatever. He tries to be like video boy is like, I have a crush on you, and she doesn't even friend zone him. She's like, get out of my room. So
this is before the friend zone existed, Jason. This is 1989. They didn't invent the friend zone until 2002.
This was like, get out of here, you pervert zone.
No, she says that's great. She's like, well, that's fine. You're allowed to look at me. I'm hot, but get the fuck out of here because nothing's happening. Yeah. And then she goes and has a shower to wash all the paint off of her body, her arrows that she pointed down to her boobs and vagina.
To her stomach and
I think it's pronounced
heart, no.
It's vagina.
Oh right,
Yeah, I think it's
I forgot we're in
vagina.
I forgot we're in the Jason Voorhees universe where it's pronounced vagina.
I wrote a note here that points out that Jason emotes more. He's always popping out in a funny way, which we talked about that sort of a production talk, but I think that's worth mentioning because he is walking around doing little pop outs and being very emotive with his head, which
it's a lot of stuff you've never seen in any other, because Jason is usually a reveal. Like he smashes through a door, or he pops out of the ground, or he jumps out of the lake, but he's not slowly opening a door and being like, everybody decent in here?
Everybody in here. I'm going to kill you. Cha cha cha. Ma ma ma. Tamara actually sees Jason before he can get to her. And then, speaking of which, he fucking punches through the door and grabs her, which is great.
I like the one thing that I like about this is that later you see that hole again and it's so goopy. Like
it's like so gluey.
Goop. Like, I do also like that he like. I don't like that he removes her robe, but I like that he rips the robe through the hole, like, and like the way it goes through is satisfying, but also it felt almost like an homage to the end of the first Freddy Krueger movie where the mom gets sucked through the hole.
I thought the exact same thing where it just because that image is so burned in my mind because it does not remotely look like a person going through a hole.
It looks like an inflatable person or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional, but that it made it, like my mind immediately went there being like, oh yes, a good horror movie. I remember that. I mentioned it earlier where like, oh, she broke the little mirror earlier and then she gets thrown into a big mirror and then he uses the mirror to stab her to death. And I'm like, was that an attempt at something? And like, what is it meant to represent? Is it just sort of like film school student foreshadowing or metaphor? And I'm like, but what is it a metaphor for? Like, I don't think anything. Like, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I don't think it's a metaphor, and I don't think it was an accident either. I think they were just like, mirror, yes, yeah.
We did it, remember? Because like when she breaks that little mirror, there's a close up of the mirror breaking. It shows the shards, and then it does the same thing here. And I'm like, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say anything, or are you just trying to act like you're saying something? Like it's almost like there's a level of pretentiousness that like you want to be like, can you just shut the fuck up and move on to the next kill and make it better than this one, please? Which they don't. I think that after the rock in the stomach, there isn't a good kill until someone getting their block knocked off. Like I don't think anything else happens that makes me go, ooh, good one.
There was a Lady Deathstrike getting like power bombed into the dance floor.
Oh, true. Yeah. That was okay. But also I have a lot of issues with that because I don't understand anything about that whole sequence.
Well, we're almost there. The captain and the skipper talk kids. There's a storm coming.
Skippy long bottoms.
Jason stabs the skipper. He shows up. Why does Jason look around like a dastardly villain during this moment? With another weird little Jasonism in this movie. And then the captain gets his throat slit, and it's the worst throat slit in history. They line it up, like puts his head up, and then he cuts his throat with like a knife or something. And it's the smallest little slit. Like they didn't even bother doing like anything really gory. Like
okay, hold up, Jason. R. Phillips Takes Manhattan. Um, so they do it, and at first I was like, oh, that's so shit. Was it just like a paint line on the blade? That's all they did. But then he pulls back, and you can see that there is a skin flap
little
that
bit,
opens,
yeah.
and then you can see that blood starts to come out, and then it cuts away. And I'm like,
Yes.
this movie must have been hit with so much of what's it called when they send it to the people for the ratings board? It must have been hit with so many like bombarded with so many notes. And because like, you know, at this point in the 80s, the late 80s, like there was like the satanic panic shit, there was all these video nasty things going on in England, and there were so many horror movies that were being blamed for like cultish behavior and shit. So they're being like overwhelmed with these kinds of notes. And every time I saw something cut away or something like this exact moment where you know there was meant to be a bunch of blood just like pouring out of this wound, because you see it start to come out like it's about to burst, and then it cuts away. And then later on we see him standing with his back to us, basically with like the entire wheel covered in blood. And I'm like, this movie definitely got neutered when it comes to gore, because
even though I think it was rated R, I would assume it still has that element of like concerned parent.
But my point is like, why would they spend, you know, whatever, $10,000 on this neck bleed effect to cut away just as the blood starts to trickle out? You know, like they didn't. What happened was they had to cut it.
Yeah, I are we sure it was rated R? I feel like this is one of those cuts that's like they need to do to keep it PG-13 or something.
Release the head-in cut. Release the director's cut of this, and
Is he alive?
Which, by the way, Hedin, do you know what Hedin, what the last movie he wrote was?
I'd like to know.
It was I think a movie that probably Jason R. Phillips has seen, The Condemned, starring Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I actually haven't seen that movie, but I didn't really.
I've seen that movie. It's the one where they're like on the island with bombs on their.
It's just right? Battle Royale, but with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He wrote it.
I saw that movie in theaters.
He co-wrote it. Yeah, he co-wrote it with, I think, maybe his brother, because it's someone else that has the same last name.
He co-wrote it with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's funny. Just as an aside, Stone Cold Steve Austin loves.
All right,
that
so
movie.
I want you to, I'm gonna power bomb on the beach, and then
is that a good Steve Austin?
and then his bomb goes off, and he explodes. And then I'm gonna rip his leg off, and I'm gonna kick the other guy with his severed leg, and then the bomb's gonna blow up. What? What?
Okay.
You know when he says what, it's rhetorical, right? Okay. Anyway,
who?
Yeah. I wrote,
Where?
at least this movie picked up a bit. He's not exactly taking Manhattan though. Should be called Jason on the High Seas. That was my working title for this movie.
7 Seas. Captain and his friend talk about children before they die, which is another attempt at some sort of character development, and also an understanding of who boy character is. The other guy whose name my brain is not.
Sean.
Sean
And Rennie walk in and find them dead.
Sean, most boring character in this movie is Sean, I think. Like there's nothing interesting about him.
Oh jeez, I don't want to be a captain. Yeah. My dad's a captain.
Like the interesting characters are like the rocker girl who dies right away, the maybe Wayne a little bit, video guy, and Julius is
Julius.
Julius is pretty good. Also, like we get more character from Julius than anyone else. Like character development and like revelation about him being a nice guy. Like remember when like everyone's being rude to Sean on the boat, and he was like, "It's okay, man. You're doing your best." Like I'm like, oh, Julius is like a sweetheart. Hold on.
For Sean, they set up all of the stuff with him. He's supposed to be the captain, and after the captain dies, he doesn't just assume the role as captain. Like that seemed like a missed opportunity, and that's what I thought was going to happen once I saw the captain get his throat slit. I was like, oh, Sean's going to have to be the captain now and navigate them to New York.
I mean, he kind of is a little bit.
Yeah, I guess he goes over the loudspeaker to tell everybody that the captain's dead.
We have Captain Principal Dickhead being like, he should know everything about this boat.
Yeah,
he's a captain's son, and he's like, what the? Why would he know? Like I'm a son of like somebody who sold cars for 30 years, but I don't know anything about cars. Like, that doesn't mean shit. My dad comes home and he's like, this is the difference between this type of car and this type of car. Like, I don't give a fuck.
But does your dad crack wise?
He does.
You crack wise.
That's true.
There you go.
Wait a minute.
And you know
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry.
and you know everything about cars.
Yeah. Engine.
Excuse me. That was one of those burps where I'm like, oh, I almost barfed at the same time.
Thanks for letting all our listeners know.
Yeah, it's a gooey
There's people
movie.
listening to this.
And this is a
there's
gooey
people listening to
podcast
this
now.
on their commute to work, and you just burped in their ear and then said, "Oh, almost puke."
Sorry.
Speaking
okay.
of, I wrote it's horror time, so that's apt.
I mean, yeah, this is right about the time where. So we've talked about this before, where like after a certain episode of Jason Voorhees, the movie's figured out a formula where it's like we have to have a kill every specific amount of time that goes by. There must be a kill, and then if we don't have a kill, we have to manufacture one until we get to the killing spree moment. Which this is where this becomes that, and then usually there's a reprieve from that, and then there's another killing spree moment at the end, and that's what's happening right now. Is we're getting, and that's exactly why Rocker Girl died, that's why Chest Rock died, and that's why shitty cocaine woman died.
And on top of that, this movie feels like two movies in one because of the way that
it
the
is
pacing of the
literally it
deaths
is. That's what happened. They took two scripts and fucked them into one script.
Jason on the high seas, and then Jason takes Manhattan, but he doesn't really take all of Manhattan. He just keeps killing punks, and he's a hero for like 4 seconds. But we'll get to that when we do.
So when they find the kid calls everybody up, and he's trying to call the Coast Guard or whatever, being like, "Hello, is anyone out there? My dad's dead, and so is the deckhand, and so is this fucking spaghetti man." And he's as he's about to get a hold of somebody, this is where I first wrote down like impeccable timing, Jason. He like rips the cords out of the thing just as he's about to say what's wrong, which happens I think like 5 other times in this movie, where as soon as somebody connects to somebody useful, Jason destroys the opportunity. But they all come up there, and as they're explaining things, Principal Buttfucker shows up, and he is like, "Everyone listen to me now. We need to figure out what's going on." And then the deckhand pops in, and he's like, "I told you Jason was going to kill everybody. I told you, nobody believed me." And then he runs away, and I'm like, arrest that deckhand.
Well,
He's the
Charles
murderer.
immediately thinks he's the murderer, and
Which is logical. Absolutely
Charles
logical.
also yells during this sequence, "Walking corpses are not real."
Yeah, if Charles just was talking in a calm tone, he would be the hero of this movie.
Yeah. If he wasn't being a prick the entire time, people would listen to him. But
Yeah.
because he's already established himself as the biggest asshole on the boat, and probably within like a 20-mile radius, it would be difficult to find somebody who's a bigger asshole than this dude.
Also, I've never once in a movie been surprised by the trope of like, oh, there was a knife in this guy's back. You can always feel it. You can be like, obviously there's a knife or an axe in this guy's back, and it's going to be the big reveal when he falls over. And there it was again.
And well,
Yeah.
The senior boxer guy, Julius, says that school's out, which is a good point. And then we get more stalking.
It's also a
from
good
Jason
line.
and Rennie. Yeah. School's out. They get the anchor. She's down. Rennie's down trying to drop the anchor. We think it's Jason stalking, but it's Charles. Charles is like, "You don't fucking drop the anchor right now. We got to get through this." Tamara's follower finds Tamara dead and then sees Jason down the hallway. And Jason gets her in the disco room. And I wrote, "What the fuck is he doing? Misting around the room?" And then he just chokes her out, body slams her. And the music for this sequence was amazing. It was so good. It was a weird, like, it sounded like 80s new wave, but it kind of was a score that went with the scene. I thought it was good.
All right.
I like this movie. I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
unapologetic about it too, because
I have a lot to say about this sequence.
I know you do. And I'm just going to finish my thought with this thought. I have a 35-year buildup to this film, and it didn't let me down. Yeah, that's right.
Sounds like you're going to be a gooey Jason later too. Anyway.
Here we go. I want to hear all of it. I love it.
I have a theory about this entire sequence, which I do want to start by saying the moment where she goes in and she's looking around, and they do this one shot of it's on her, and then it pans around the room and it lands on that door, and then it zooms into the door, and the door just bursts open, and Jason walks in. I'm like, that's cool. That is a very, very good shot. A better shot than this movie deserves, because this movie is a bunch of kind of malarkey and horse shit mixed in with stuff that doesn't make
Malarkey,
including this very sequence. And I think that shot rules, and I'm disappointed in myself for not using it in the edit at the beginning of the Grimoire episodes, and maybe I'll use it in the future for a new Grimoire video. But this moment to me feels like when they wrote it, they envisioned a full dance floor with a strobe light, similar to something like the sequence in the 2016 Blade Runner movie, where it's going full black to full light to full black to full light. And she's supposed to be in a room where the lights are cutting, so she can't see where he is. And then she looks around, and then he's there, and then he's there, and then he's there. But they don't have a proper strobe light, and the whole room is fully lit the entire time.
Okay. Yeah.
Around, and he's looking around, and she's trying to go through these doors they're all locked for some reason. And you're like, this, I understand what they're trying to do, but if you can't accomplish it visually, then abandon that shit and do something
Absolutely.
else. It doesn't
That's
make
a good
any sense.
theory, though.
What it looks like to me is that she's confused, and so is Jason. Jason is also confused. Like, they're both like it doesn't look like what I think that they thought it was going to look like. And there's a part of me that's like, I wonder if like the theatrical cut of this was darker, and like there was actually sort of an ambiotic vibe to it where she couldn't actually tell where he was. But when you're watching it on like a Blu-ray quality, it just looks like they didn't know what they were trying to do in this sequence. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's what I was looking at, being like, they must have wanted it to be like a strobe effect. You know, like when it goes full black and full light, and it's like flashing, and then someone's gone, and they're over here, and they're over there, and they're over there. That's what it should have been, right? It would have been scarier. It would have been more appropriate. Something like Blade, or like I said, the Blade Runner movie. But yeah, failure in what they were trying to accomplish.
The reason why it's such a good theory is exactly what you're saying. Like, that whole sequence of it panning around the room makes much more sense if it's flashing in and out. And then even on top of that, they should have added Jason appearing in almost her peripheral vision while it's spinning and strobing. But really, from our point of view,
like behind her and stuff, or
yes,
like we're seeing him, and there's, especially after that really killer shot of him entering, like have it be like a weird dance thing, like a dance sequence or something. I don't know, man. I feel like on paper that sequence could be really impressive, and on film it could be even more impressive if they did it right. But it seems like
I do like the idea
how
that
to do it or something. Like,
you're watching
the lights off.
I do like the idea that you're watching this in a theater in 1989, and maybe in the dark of the theater on the big screen it looks a little different. You know, the film.
Well, also to film that
fidelity is different, so it doesn't. I also watched it on extremely high definition, so like I know what you're saying. I'm just agreeing with you. Agreeing with you.
I know. I'm just trying to say one more thing. To film that kind of effect on actual film is difficult to do. To cut lights and turn them back on, cut them and turn them on. That is a difficult thing to achieve. But you could do it in editing. You could just literally cut the frames so that it goes to black, and then accomplish it that way. But again, I'm my only experience in editing any kind of film is digitally, so like I'm sure that it's probably more complicated than I'm making it out to be when it comes to like editing actual film. But they had digital processing at this point. They could have.
You yourself should recut this sequence with the Blade rave scene.
Okay, maybe I will, and we'll see what it looks like. Maybe it'll be fucking cool as shit. All right. I'll try it. I'll put that on my giant list of things I'd like to do. Yeah.
It does look insane.
Mike, what do you think? How do you feel?
Yeah, what do you think about this fucking scene?
I liked it. Just kidding.
Loved it. I thought it was perfect. I thought they did everything correct. Everybody
No
knew how
notes.
correct it was.
No notes.
No notes. like the epitome of the opposite of yes and. You know what? Good. I say
No.
Is that
No. ...
Was that I was calling her Lady Deathstrike, but is that her from X-Men 2? It looks just like her, but it was hard to tell if
I
she's
didn't look it up.
just a lot younger.
Kelly Hugh. Oh yeah, it does look like her.
Yeah.
She was in Ninja Turtles. She was in Scorpion King.
I could be maybe just racist, but it looks like her to me.
A little bit, yeah. She played Vietnamese woman in Watchmen Chapter 1.
Oh man, I went for that role. I almost got it.
When did that movie come out?
X-Men 2? I don't know, in 2000 maybe?
No, X-Men 2 was like 2002.
I also feel like that would have been at the top of her creds if it was.
Okay, so I guess I'm a friggin' racist then. Oops.
Was she in the original Mortal Kombat? Because she's in like a bunch of Mortal Kombat games.
She was the sorceress from Scorpion King. Oh, she was.
Yeah,
it was her. You were right.
Oh hell yeah! Sick.
It's
Okay.
crazy.
No, yeah, it is. Yeah, I recognize
Uncancelled.
her. The picture of her is like her adult.
Convenient that
face.
Jason agrees after I say that it was her.
No, I'm looking at her IMDb now too, and I saw
I know, but you
a
would
picture
think
of her
that
as
that
an
would
adult.
be at the top of her. You know how like known for they'll give you like
Yeah.
the four at the top. The four that they have are this movie that we're talking about right now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the TV series.
The TV series, the cartoon from the
Why
mid
not
2000s.
fucking
like
X2?
recent.
Or maybe it's just this is based on the like IMDb's knowledge of me. They're like, we're giving you the ones that you would know.
No, I'm seeing the
weirdo.
same. I'm seeing the same.
Yeah,
She was in Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic 2 DLC, The Sith Lords. So
That's a video game.
I know.
You're like, I knew I recognized her face from somewhere. It's like a pixelated fucking mess from the first Xbox. All right, let's move on.
Listen,
Mike's-
okay, I got.
Oh wait, this just in. Mike Mongiardi, not racist.
Uncancelled.
He just recognized an actual human from one project to another.
That's great. The kids get the weapons together. Wayne goes down. You're right. Wayne was the videographer. He goes down to the engine area, shoots the deckhand by accident because his glasses fall off from the steam. He has a gun. He shoots wildly. That other deckhand, the handsome deckhand man.
Did we talk about when they put out the blanket of weapons? And they're
That's
all
what I'm
like,
saying. Yeah,
grab
the
weapons.
kids get the weapons together. Was
And
that?
then like Julius, they're like, "What are you gonna take, Julius?" And he's like, "Nothing."
My fist.
And there's like this long pause. And he's like, "Except this gun."
Yeah.
It's like the biggest gun. Like you're like,
Well, I
okay.
think it's because they all look at him like, what? Because
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna fight him, and they're like, no, I don't think you fight.
Yeah,
this
and I think you're right. I think the movie was supposed to be like he believes in himself so much that he's gonna punch the shit out of Jason, but then they all look at him like, "Are you fucking crazy?" And he's like, "All right, I'll take a gun, I guess." But like, again, that's like poorly translated visual language. Like, I'm like, what is the joke? Is there a joke? Is it meant to be a joke? Is it meant to be a dramatic pause? I think Jason's right where it's like they're supposed to be like, "Are you fucking crazy?" without saying it.
Yeah.
I think this movie was one of those movies where they're like, every time somebody had an idea, they're like, "Yeah, but show, don't tell." You know, like that's like a rule in filmmaking, but like instead of like explaining anything, they just like explain nothing. Like ever. Yeah. They're like, just show, don't tell. And a lot of time we're like, I don't understand what I'm seeing.
Sometimes, please tell me.
But yeah, I need to know. You can't just not
because we don't show it properly. It's just nonsense. But yeah, like I said, Wayne goes down. He shoots the deckhand. Jason arrives and chases him. He finds the rock chick. Oh, JJ is her name. Because he says JJ. With her head bashed open, which was a good little gore moment. Jason throws him into a control panel and he dies by electrocution, but he also catches on fire. So that was insane.
That happens to people when they get electrocuted pretty heavily, though, I think.
But when people get electrocuted to death, does it make the sound of an amp having a patch cord go into it wrong? Because I don't know.
No, but that's just that's creative liberty. Sometimes you gotta break the fourth wall or whatever.
I've actually seen that happen. I've actually seen it. That happens.
You've seen it? Okay.
That's true. That's true.
It
All
makes
right.
the sound of like a squeaky microphone when an awkward person goes up and it's like.
That's true.
Yeah.
So cut back to Charles freaking out at Sean while the engine room is about to explode. We see fuel going all over the place.
How do we even know there is a fire? Everyone's like,
the fire.
This is the first time where I'm like, all right, Charles, you need to cool it a little bit. He's like, they're just trying to make panic, maybe. How about that? Did you guys ever think
Everybody
about that? I'm
panic.
gonna take this flare gun and shoot the shit out of that deckhand.
Yeah.
With a
They get
flare
back on.
gun.
They get back on course, but Jason is smashing stuff down in the underbelly of the ship. Charles absolutely refuses to believe in Jason and goes after the soothsayer guy with a flare gun.
It is funny that
Then-
Jason Voorhees starts a fire and then hits the fire alarm.
Yeah.
Like, he's responsible.
It's giving everybody an opportunity to kill themselves by jumping into the water, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is
He's a
responsible. You're right.
He's a responsible ghoul. I just wrote killing spree time, and it's kind of what happens. He kills a bunch of people, and then Stephen King's pen saves the day when she gets strangled through the porthole.
A student fights Jason with an axe. Julius hears and goes to check it out. Tries to climb the sail pole and falls. He gets impaled. Jason had to have missed it up there.
Julius doesn't get impaled. Oh, the other guy gets impaled.
The other guy. But did
Yeah.
you notice that like the guy's climbing and climbing and climbing, and then Jason's just right behind him, even though he was standing down on the deck like seconds ago?
I think this supports Mike's question earlier, which is like, does he just have the abilities that he has in like the video game and shit? It's like, yeah, this is where the video game got the idea for it, is that he's able to just like appear wherever he needs to be. The dance floor sequence really supports it if it was done
Really
properly.
supports
He's not skittering about being like, where'd he go? Where the fuck did he go?
She's just looking around slowly, and he's just like behind her, like.
Yeah. I hate
But
that
Jason
sequence so fucking much. It's so infuriating. I'm like, what is going on?
Jason grabs Julius and tosses him right into the water. So he's dead, or is he? Rennie has more visions of Kid Jason, and this is the scene that I was talking about earlier, where he headbutts open the porthole, grabs her, and she stabs him in the eye with the fountain pen, as you mentioned. I remember that from the back of the VHS is a note that I wrote, but I talked about that. She manages to stab him in the eye though with the fountain pen. Called it. No, I didn't call it. Why? I'm fighting with myself on the paper now. He just pulls it out like it's
Jason
nothing.
just talks to himself.
Yeah. No. Okay. So he pulls it out of his eye. And this is something I've always noticed about Jason. And I have a question for you guys. Does Jason have like a sight beyond sight thing? Because I've seen Jason's eyes be destroyed. Well, one of his eyes doesn't work. His good eye gets destroyed constantly.
Listen,
So
in the last movie we watched, both of his eyes get stabbed with Freddy's razor fingers right through his eyes.
Right. Yes.
He doesn't need his eyes. He doesn't use them.
Okay. Because he pulls it out like it's nothing.
He can just see. He's got like Terminator senses or whatever. Like
That's what I'm saying. Sight beyond sight.
or something. Sight beyond sight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got Batman detective power.
Yeah. Some people call Jason Voorhees the world's greatest detective. I don't.
I call him that.
Some
I do call him that personally. But the boat does start exploding, so that's happening.
Also, no stabilizers. Remember when the guy's like, we need to turn on the stabilizers. Like a stabilizer inside of a boat of this size, basically when waves hit it, they have these sort of like ballast like paddles that ensure that the boat stays level or whatever, or otherwise boats would just tip over. And they don't ever successfully activate those. So I'm like, this boat would be just tossing people around. And I kind of wish that they did like a Star Trek thing where they like, like constantly getting whipped around. That would have been maybe more fun. Even Jason, like,
well, I was going to say, does Jason also do that, or is Jason
maybe he's got such good sea legs because he's born underwater or whatever?
He's
right?
covered in goop.
Didn't Pamela Voorhees birth him in Crystal Lake? Isn't that how it?
Yeah,
works?
that's the origin story, right?
Yeah. My next note is this old fuck really won't give up being a dick. I don't know what that note is in reference to because he really was just a dick the whole time.
I think
Could have been
Worldmind.
literally anytime he talked.
Yeah, you're right.
I think Worldmind might be onto something with this note right here. Jason is Neo.
That's true. But also remember how in the Matrix the architect or whatever is like, and then we made a Matrix where everything was a fucking nightmare zone. It's like, oh yeah, we do. You made that? He's like, yeah, and we made it the Neo of that time was a man named Jorson Voorhees. So Neo during that timeline of the Matrix was
Then we made a separate universe where Jason fought Freddy, and Neo is just like,
we
"Why are
always
you
put
just
the one
listing
into these
the-"
universes, and the one in that one was a kid that we drowned and then chopped his mom's head off in front of him, and then
Yeah.
we just waited to see if he could fly at the end. He didn't. He just kept killing people forever. We got rid of that version of the Matrix pretty quick.
We deleted it immediately.
Yeah, it's gone. We don't want it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Charles is exploring the kitchen looking for the soothsayer deckhand guy. Soothsayer attacks with a knife. Just scared, but doesn't help his case.
I did right.
water-
Yay, pink lights.
Yeah,
because the lights
Oh.
were really pink at this moment. I was like, oh, this movie is getting real 80s for a second here. I like it.
There's just water just flowing into the engine room. The door breaks open. I wrote, this fucker is sinking. Sean and Rennie are trying to survive now. Charles intercepts them. Sean tries to warn of Jason. Charles is the asshole foil of this movie, which is something I noticed. The other teacher has lowered the escape boat. Soothsayer gets an axe to the back. This is that scene that Michael was talking about earlier, where like he comes out from around like in a doorway and he's making a face like, and we all know that he's gonna double over. Which
Yeah.
of course happens.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, the boat's on fire. Let's just move on to them in the escape pod. Because there's not really much else to talk about here, unless you guys have anything particular you want to talk about.
No, my next note is literally they catch a glimpse of Jason and they start rowing.
Yeah.
Julius makes it to the boat from the water, which was insane.
We've
He's
got
just been out
about
there
8
floating like
minutes.
Ahsoka.
8 minutes of time where they're on this boat.
I want to skip this whole segment because it just keeps cutting back to like moments later. The thing I wanted to ask you though is like, it seemed like from a movie storytelling standpoint that like a whole day elapsed because of how light it is when they show the foggy moment. I know it wasn't.
Yeah. I think that's correct.
Oh, really? You think that like a whole day goes by and into night again?
I think
so.
End up at New York.
Yeah. It was daytime.
Okay.
It was just really foggy. Yeah. I think
because they all fell asleep. They were all like passed out.
Yeah. I think absolutely there was a whole day that went past, but I don't think it was more than one day. Like, because they're going to start puking and drinking, like demanding to drink the water. Like, you can't drink salt water. Says who? Flanders or whatever. That Simpsons.
Sugar do. Oh, honey. Also, they make it to New York, and the credits roll, and that's the end of the movie. So this has been our 5-year anniversary of Hey, Did You See This One? Just kidding. Come on, Steve. Have a little fun.
Have a little heart.
Have a little heart. Have a little fun.
I don't like that joke. It doesn't make me laugh.
Congratulations of 5 years of Hey, Did You See This One? It's always so fun to be on the show and always so fun to listen.
Thanks, Tat.
It sounded like someone had a gun to her head.
It was me. Oh.
Oh my God. Steven, Jason, congratulations. Just wanted to send a little video along congratulating you guys for your
5-year anniversary.
of Hey, Did You See This One? Hey, did you see this one? And I want to thank you for having me on when you have me on, and I hope to do it again. It's a good time. I got a lot of content to catch up. I didn't realize we were that far along. I don't know where you guys find the time. That's a daily. You're doing multiple episodes a day, putting out those numbers. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Don't want to take up much of your time, but congratulations. I look forward to another
5 years.
and I look forward to being on at least one or two of them again. That's great. Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Oh, Jason ran away from his own joke. He's gone. Jesus.
I am Michael Chan from Heard Noise Must Investigate. The CN Tower wishes for you to know that it is satisfied with your offering of 5 years of your lives to Toronto. As such, the CN Tower, by its grace, permits you to continue your podcast.
I had no idea that Michael Chan was the spirit of the CN Tower.
Well,
We've had him on so many. He's never brought it up. I guess I'm supposed to ask people if they're the spirit of something.
I'm freaked out, man.
Michael, are you the spirit of something?
Yeah, I'm the spirit of
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. That's better than whatever I was going to say.
Oh, jeez.
That's pretty good.
That was good. I didn't expect him to go into like a weird, like fucking Dragon Ball Z lightning around him and stuff. Like he was powering up. That was pretty cool.
It's kind of the motif of his podcast, like the heard noise must investigate
Right,
has
yeah.
the lightning bolts.
All
in
right.
black and
So
white.
after 1 hour and 3 minutes, they finally arrive in New York City. Or, I mean, they
Yeah.
arrive into view range of
I made a note that
the
Charles
Lady
is.
Liberty.
They get there, Charles still complaining, still just mad and complaining about everything. Like, and Jason just pops out of the water too as they walk away, which is fucking so
I
funny.
wonder
to me.
if like the actor after a while was just like, what if I just said this? It's like, what? He's like, what if I was like, nice fucking dock job, you prick? What if I just say something like that? And they're like, true, yeah, I guess your
Okay,
character is a
great.
dick.
Yeah.
Like he has absolutely no gratitude whatsoever for this kid who just his dad died. Oh, we skipped over it. I was gonna be like, there's one moment of humanity that he has, and it's when he finds his dad. He grabs Sean and he's like, Sean, I'm and like it's like he's about to say, like, I'm so sorry you just lost your father. I don't know how to express how sad I am that happened. And then he just stops. It's like the only moment where he feels a genuine human emotion that isn't like, why the fuck are we even on this cruise again? Also, why did he volunteer for this job? He hates them so much.
How about Jason looking up at the billboard of the masks for hockey that look exactly the same, and him like chuckling?
That was the
to
first time where I
himself?
said, "Oh, Jason made a funny."
Yeah.
Or what about that time when he just looked at those punks and like took off his mask and then they all ran away and then put it back on?
That's when I said, Jason made another funny.
Yeah.
I literally have those both things in my notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are both funny moments because it's a very Beetlejuice thing to do. They immediately get robbed by heroin addicts. The heroin addicts from the beginning of the movie in that
Imagine
opening. like,
Beetlejuice
crawl.
just called on Jason Voorhees in like a Beetlejuice movie. And he's like,
Yeah, perfect.
Hey, I need your help. Come here.
No notes. That's an
You there.
excellent
Yeah,
idea.
you. From hell.
And then the
Hockey man.
Ghostbusters have to stop both of them, but they can't stop Jason because he's corporeal. Or is he? Deadite.
Did you say he's corporeal?
Corporeal, yeah. I would
That
say.
means you're of the corporeal realm. Non-corporeal would be harder
Not-
to take care of.
He's IRL.
I think he has the ability to become non-corporeal, but he is mostly corporeal, but he's invincible.
That's what yeah, okay.
Mike, thoughts? What are your thoughts on Jason's ability?
Oh
to be
well,
corporeal and non-corporeal?
I think we should really get into the semantics of corporeal versus non-corporeal.
I mean, that's why I'm here. That's the only reason I'm on this.
I think we could get another 10 minutes out of this. Let's go. Let's do it. Corporeal. Webster's dictionary defines corporeal.
Well, don't spoil my speech for your wedding.
Oh man, you're gonna do a speech
on what is corporeal and non-corporeal?
Yeah.
Like, we all know that love is a non-corporeal thing that you can't grasp, you can't breathe, you can't taste, but you can see it. You know it when you see it.
Oh, it's other cat. It's a non-corporeal cat.
Yeah. You should name your next cat non-corporeal. So
the heroin addicts take Rennie. They're like, "Ooh, you look real sweet." Julius,
I did also want to say that Julius is more of a man than that old man because he comforts
Absolutely.
his friend who's using his computers to. Oh, wow.
That's 2 cats at once.
If I did that with 2 cats on the street, they'd probably fight. I'm sure it'll be great.
Hi. Stop.
Stop what?
Stop. Are you gonna edit this?
Sure, yeah.
You're not.
I am.
You are?
I am.
Okay. And it's Becky.
And Jamil.
We just want to wish you a happy 5-year
Anniversary. Yes.
Can we just stop it?
No, wait, no. 5 years.
I know, but there's a lot to edit now. Stop
It isn't. Don't. We got time. We can do it. Hi.
Hi, it's Becky.
Becky, Jamil.
And we just want to wish you a very happy 5 years.
5 years
For
of.
Hey, did you see this one?
Hey, did you see this one? Yes. What's your favorite episode? Like Maddie, our daughter, she loves Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Yes.
That was really early on in our relationship.
Oh, was that one? That was Hey, did you see this one?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It was so good. It was so funny.
Yes. That was the one where rotisserie.
The rotisserie and the handshaking.
Yeah, handshaking. Okay.
The washing the hands.
Yeah, washing. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations and bye.
All the best. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
That was a real one. I like the real ones because they feel sweet and genuine. Thanks, Jamil.
That
Thanks,
one feels like
Jamil.
they accidentally sent you the first take.
Yeah, I like that throughout. She was like, "No, we have to stop and re-record it. This is too much to edit." That was good.
I have some inside baseball on that. We did the Survivor podcast last night, and I was like, "You guys are supposed to give us a 200," and they were like, "Yeah, we were going to record it, then we didn't." And then right after the show, they recorded that, and clearly they recorded for like 15 minutes, and Jamil today just cut it down to what we saw, and it worked great. I thought it was very funny and very very sweet, and that's
it's charming.
Yeah, definitely charming.
So
Julius goes to go after Rennie, but Charles stops him and wants to get the police involved. And then I wrote, so this scene sucks. Rennie getting almost and drugged and with heroin or crack or something.
It's
Jason
a
shows up
problematic
and-
scene that exists in so many movies, and they for some
Zack
reason
Snyder wrote this scene clearly.
they decided to throw it into this movie, and it adds 0 to anything. It doesn't do anything except for add a bunch
you're
of uncomfortable tension that I don't think really needs to exist.
What it did,
all it does is turn New York City into the villain at this point.
Right. What it did for me though is it made Jason the hero for like a moment, and I saw Jason as a possible hero if they wanted to write him like that. But that said,
he wasn't doing anything other than try to kill her, but he's like, I gotta kill these 2 people first.
moments later is the scene where him and Julius have I thought it was going to be a boxing match, but it was a one-sided punch fest for Julius. And then at the very end, he just kind of goes, ugh, and then punches Julius's head off of his fucking shoulders.
How'd you feel about it, Jason? I've been telling you about this moment for years now.
It's not so, even though I knew this is the only way this was going to happen in this movie, I still thought, even though punching was involved, I still thought he was just going to handily throw him off the roof. That's what I thought was going to happen here. But no, he punches him off the roof and then throws his decapitated corpse off the roof.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't throw his corpse. He just knocks his head off, and his head bounces around and it lands in a dumpster.
I'll tell you what does happen though, because he punches his head off and it bounces and lands in a dumpster slams shut.
Yeah.
And then like a scene later, the head is like, Jason, I guess, went into the dumpster, took the head out, and then put it in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the in between of the cop talking to them, Jason was snuck up and put it there because he's like, they're gonna go in this car. I know they will, and then I'll kill the cop before they can get away, and then but I gotta spook them first. Which is in traditional Jason fashion. Jason would often prop up bodies in ways to frighten people, but again, this movie is like, it's not quite like a Freddy versus Jason where it's the best of, and we're seeing like the things that we love about Jason. This movie is like trying its hardest to do weird original things, but they're all kind of like falling flat on their belly, and nothing is really quite working for me. I would have loved if Jason was throwing some punches at Julius and Julius was dodging them. Like, imagine Jason just and Jason kind of being like, what the heck? This guy's quick. Like, that would have been cool. But
I did feel like the punching sequence went on for too long.
That's the point of it, though.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's why I like it, is because it's going to a point that you're like, this is crazy how long he's been punching, and he's not stopping. And we saw him. This is another holdover. They wanted to do a fucking Jason goes into Madison Square Garden and
Like
boxes
Muhammad Ali and gets the world championship.
It also is like, it's one of those things where Julius has not been explored as a character very much in this movie. We've seen that he's a good guy a couple of times, but not really gotten to see him in action. So it's like, yeah, give him an extended death and make it funny. And I do think that the funny aspect of this is the fact that he's punching him for like a full 2 minutes or whatever. Like, that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then him just getting his head knocked clean off is like, it's so anticlimactic for him, but for us, we're just like, oh god, all right, Jason, you devil, you evil devil, you. Oh,
I've heard that there's some really interesting things happening over at Hey, Did You See This One? Apparently,
5-year anniversary.
that's kind of crazy and very impressive. I mean, you're really getting close to the OG Naruto series run, and that's a feat in and of itself. I brought my notes so that I don't accidentally talk for 3 hours of rambling. First off, I want to say shout out to our hosts, Jason and Steven. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I know that watching movies is a very taxing and difficult job, but thank you for sacrificing your time to make sure that we get great content. But seriously, it takes a lot to put on a podcast, a lot of organizing, a lot of note-taking, getting the right people together, having good conversations, and you guys really crush it. I've been able to meet so many amazing people because of this podcast, because of what you do, and because you decided that I would be good on a podcast. Verdict's still out, by the way. I'm not exactly sure. Say thank you for giving Luna a platform. She's here somewhere. I mean, very well deserved. She's been really wanting the spotlight for a long time, and thankfully she's got a few hours now on the internet of taking over the camera. In closing, just want to say thank you for everything. Congratulations.
5 years.
It's actually pretty amazing. And I can't wait to come back again for some spooky goodness very soon. Love you guys. I totally didn't have to bribe her with treats in order to say hi. Luna, can you say hi? Yeah, good job. There you go. Precious angel. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Gotta make her work for it.
Cass signed off on that, and then Amanda got his head punched off of his shoulders.
yes. Jason is the master of cutting people off mid-call in this. Okay, so what I mean by that is Julius, before he gets his head punched off, runs into a telephone booth and he says, "Operator, this is emergency. Connect me to the police." And then Jason just like busts through the thing and destroys the phone. And then after Julius dies, they all get into the cop car after talking to the cop when he shows up. The police man goes in after they all scream, being like, "Oh my god, it's Julius's head!" And he's like, "Dispatch, this is," and then he gets his microphone ripped out of his cop car. And all I can think about this is like, police, even back then, would know if you were to call like a payphone and be like, "Police, I need help," they would send a squad car there, right? And then if a squad car showed up and the police officer was like, "Dispatch, well, you have an emergency," and then it goes blank, they would probably send 1,000,000 cops, right? I don't know about New York City, but in most places, that's how it works, right? Isn't that how it works? I don't know. I'm not a cop.
That's what I would do.
I'm glad you're not a cop. Fuck the police. Am I right?
Oh, I thought you were going to say I would be a bad cop. I probably would be. I mean, all cops.
I don't know how good a cop he would be. All cops are bad, so yeah, he would be a bad cop.
I'd be a better like private investigator.
Private. I could see you being a private dick, like for sure. Like I could see you waiting in a car, and then people go into a second location. You go in there and you say, "Hey, just one more thing. I'm gonna ask you some more questions about the infiltration that you did on this prison or whatever."
I think it would go more something like this.
Sir, this is the scene of a crime. A murder has taken place, and you are a suspect.
Yeah.
What even is that? Is that from Stan Land?
No, it's not. That's how I think it would go. Anyway,
There's been a murder in Savannah.
Killer.
Yeah. Yeah, he kills the cop and Rennie hits Jason with the car, which was fucking great. And then she sees the kid and smashes into a wall.
I think it's because she's trying to kill Jason. At this point, she knows Jason is tormenting her, so she thinks like if she kills the inner Jason, then he'll die. And it does seem to knock him out for a while, running the ghost over.
Which is the way that you at least stop Jason momentarily. That's like his whole thing.
But this is also the point that I think we were all making earlier, Mike, especially, where it's like you've got this idea that makes sense sort of abstractly, but then in the practice of the movie, it doesn't equate to anything, and you're just left being like, wait, what? So did her running over the ghost child do something to Jason? I don't know. I can't know.
What actually ends up happening though is we find out the
hold on. I
teacher's
wonder what Mike thinks about this.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. The only person who really knows the answer is the great Rob Hedden.
Mm-hmm.
True.
We should try and get him on the line.
Oh yeah. What else is he doing? The Condemned
Call him up.
too?
You guys think he's sleeping right now? Sleeping with the fishes, probably.
No, if he's in California, it's like dinner time there. So
it's true. Let's call him up. Who's got his
call him
number?
up.
Jason?
Okay, sorry.
No, I was saying, do you have his number? Do you? Do you have
I
his phone number?
do, but he
Okay.
told me not to call him between the hours of California 5 and California 10. So
Oh, I see. That's his,
and it's California 5.
those are his
I
sex
think.
chamber hours. So
Yeah.
evil uncle drowns in a vat of toxic waste, which is good.
Well, no. Before that, I just wanted to point out that we actually end up finding out what the woman teacher's
Yes.
name is, Miss Venderson. The police car explodes in the best explosion I think I've seen in an 80s movie. It's just so comically big because the car explodes, but then also there's like this halo of fire.
Is that how she dies?
Yeah, because they all look back like, oh no, my mom died.
Yeah, my teacher mom died. She was the best creative writing teacher I ever had.
But here's
also,
the thing: it's not even on Jason. Rennie crashed the car into the wall.
oh yeah, true. Also, here's
Rennie. Okay, perfect, excellently executed. Nope.
You remember when I told you that this movie? You remember when I told you that this movie refuses?
Not again.
You remember when I told you this movie refuses to stay in my mind? I forgot how she died, and I couldn't.
Yeah, me too.
This whole time we've been talking, I'm like, I can't remember how this character is taken out of the movie, and I don't
Rennie
remember
killed
what
her.
it was. So Remy
Collateral
Rat,
damage.
took her out. Okay, well that's fine and terrible that she got blown up. Like she didn't even get killed by Jason. She got killed by the story of the movie happening.
Yeah.
And then we also have the flashback that feels like it's going to be like a weird pedophilic scene, and then it turns out to be just like weirdly worse. No, it's not worse. Sorry, I shouldn't say it's worse. It's slightly less worse than if he molested her.
Well, Charles is like, you have to learn to swim. We're going to do it on Crystal Lake. And also, a boy died and he's still down there, and you'll get pulled down by him if you try to swim in here. And she's like, what?
And he thinks he's
right into the lake.
I mean, there's a world where he's being like a fun uncle, trying to be like, I'll just scare her a little bit, and then that'll help her learn to swing. Like I can
Which is where my head was for this until all of the things play out.
I can forgive it if he was a good uncle who's not an asshole, but he's an asshole in every single possible way that he's not a fun uncle. It almost would have been more of a contrast if he was either fun in the scene or nice in the scene, or just fun and nice the entirety through the movie, and then it would be weird, right? But it's just like, no, he was just always an asshole, and like his tactics of teaching someone to swim is push them in the deep end and wait until they're about to drown and pull them out of the lake.
I mean, that's like child abuse. I mean, that was like
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
that was brutal.
And we see this whole flashback play out. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say I just realized something. Her parents died in a car accident, right? Was that what they said?
Yeah. Which is like revealed around this time in the movie too, like for the first time.
And then her teacher mom died in a car accident too. So this movie is actually quite beautiful.
This is maybe a masterpiece.
It all plays together like a perfect disaster. In this moment too, after this flashback, she in real time remembers it all because she like has the flashback. And I think Jason actually did pull her down, because this, Michael, you asked this earlier, like how did Jason like evolve? I think he drowned, and then like, and I think Steven, you kind of corroborated this. He drowned and then like just grew up to be a full adult man under the water.
So
based on only this movie, because I never even thought about this before. I think this movie,
he can only breathe water. I don't know if you guys know this at the end when he barfs all that water out.
Yeah,
that's him just taking a deep breath in and out. Like,
which was insane. His fucking pumpkin face just explodes water out of the nose.
Yeah.
So he didn't. So he did drown as a child, and then he grew up to be a man entirely underwater, or he kind of went up on shore and then somehow lived to be an adult man.
I think that
surviving off the land.
The consensus is that he didn't actually die, and Pamela Voorhees was there to take revenge for her son dying, but he wasn't actually dead, and he was just living in the woods as a little eating squirrels and dog shit or whatever, and living his life out in the woods, and grew to be a man and then became a zombie after. Get that out of here.
No more cat assholes on my fucking show, please.
This cat is dying. She's an exhibitionist.
Yeah, really.
She wants the internet to see it all.
Yeah.
Clearly.
What can I do?
So anyway,
Can't do
to answer your
anything, I
question, who gives a shit? Jason Voorhees movies don't make any fucking sense. So Uncle
Jason gets back up.
They all split up at this point except for girl and boy, and then Uncle runs away as well in an opposite direction. And Uncle is being chased by Jason, which gives them a moment reprieve to have a romantic moment. I wrote down, wow, they found the cleanest couch in every alley in New York City somehow.
Yeah.
It's just like
I do like also that when Jason chases Charles into that building, we get to finally see again a man thrown out a window. They run inside the building, and in that same shot, a man comes flying out the window.
That is one thing that we love about these movies is people's bodies being thrown through windows. And they at least learned that much. I also think that this also supports the idea that he does have teleportation powers, because he looks and then he turns around and then all of a sudden he's there.
Yeah.
Like within seconds he's there. Unless he can run real quick through an entire building, I don't think so. He teleported. And then he picks him up, and Uncle Pervo is like, oh, no, please, I beg you. And then he gets thrown into the rat sauce. It's very thick, very goopy, very green.
So gloopy.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it's crazy too, because at the very beginning of the movie, like they had a real rat climb out of it, which was so fucking weird to put in the opening credits of a movie. They set this barrel of goo up for the last 90 minutes, which is insane.
They set every single thing that happens in the Manhattan sequence. We are shown in that first little sequence of like the deep voice being like, don't worry, folks, you're just going to have to go through 1 hour of bullshit before you see Jason in this location, and this location. And
it's going to be goopy.
We
It's
do.
going to be glued. It's going to be glued. Interrupted by my own petard.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Yeah, happy anniversary, guys. I mean, what is it? Happy anniversary? 2 years? 3 years? How many hours was that? Have we done this recently? Do you guys have an abnormal amount of anniversaries? You're not Mormon, are you? Anyway, congrats on whatever it is. Keep it up. I look forward to next week's anniversary.
I
called out.
He's turning into red green. Remember the red green show? Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right.
Truly.
Well, thanks, Davin.
Rennie and Sean have a romantic moment. You already kind of mentioned that. This is where it's revealed that her parents died in a car wreck. They kiss. Jason blasts
Hold on.
Sorry.
She finds the only clean couch in all of the alleys of New York, and then I wrote, "Why are you kissing? Jason's after you." And then my next note was, "See," because like he literally breaks through like all the shit next to them like right away. They shouldn't have kissed.
It was a gross kiss too. I don't want it.
So Jason has a cooldown on when he can teleport. It's like a 45-second cooldown. But if someone starts kissing, it reduces the cooldown by like a good 50%, and he can do it much faster.
That's good lore. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Were we gonna say, Michael?
Oh, I was just saying the kiss was gross. I hated watching it.
What kind of sound did it make, do you think?
Goopy. It was goopy, just like everything else in this movie.
It was one of those kisses where like it seemed like they both closed their eyes too quickly and they didn't line their mouths up perfect.
They headbutted each other.
Yeah. And then the great Rob Hedden was like, "I think we got it.
Yeah,
I think
move
we got
on,
it.
move
Let's
on."
wrap it up."
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that, I would say. Yeah.
Listen,
Jason
we
Blast-
rented this couch for 4 hours and we've been doing this for 3 hours. We can't keep doing this kissing scene.
Yeah, this couch
Why are these two people fucking? We've let them kiss too long.
That's what happens.
So
he then chases them, and this is a long chase throughout all of New York. Donald
Well, he
Trump
chases
shows
them to
up
the
and he's
subway.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chases the subway. Jason blasts through some glass windows again, which was fucking great. They make it to the train.
I don't really like him going through the window because he kicks it and then punches it. I feel like he should just walk through it. Like he walks through in so many other things like head first, right? Like I want him to go head first. What was Kane Hodder afraid of? I don't know.
Glass in the eyes, maybe?
He's got protective little lenses. Did you ever see any eyeball through those holes? Never. He's got little
No,
things.
because his eyes have been stabbed 4,000 times.
Anyway, and then they go down an escalator, which we saw at the beginning of the movie, as we have seen on every minute of the beginning of the movie. We saw that thing, and then they run down it.
Chris.
But we also see Jason Voorhees appear at the top of that escalator as they're reaching the bottom. And my note here says, "You fucking cowards show Jason Voorhees on an escalator for fuck's sake." Why the hell? I just wanted to stand there and like not go past people. Yeah, just go down it slowly for the full amount of time that it would take him to get from the top to the bottom. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. Or just some,
Am
Am I the only one who feels this way? Come on.
No, I'm with you, man. I like it. I like the idea of Jason just slowly going down an escalator at them.
He's like a
refuses to
cow,
take
you know,
one
like how
step.
cows
Yeah.
can't go downstairs or whatever, like Jason
They
can't.
can't-
So he
yeah,
needs
they
an
can't go
escalator to get
downstairs.
or to mist teleport.
No. I do like that it's very intense as they go through the subway car. Like he's knocking people over. They get to the end of the car and they pull the thing, like they pull the like emergency stop.
So I have nothing to say about this.
And then
which
they
is-
get out here. I'd love to know what you have to say about this.
Two things. One is that Jason appears between two cars. He doesn't appear in
Yeah.
another car. He appears in the car, in the like little bridge between the cars, which to me tells me that Jason Voorhees, his teleportation power, he can only go through doorways that are open. He cannot go through like a closed door. He can't go through a window unless it's shattered. Like he has to have like a, when you call him non-corporeal, it is like mist. Like mist can't get through glass, right? So the glass has to be broken. So you would have to punch through it to be able to go through it. And he teleports in between the two cars. The other thing that I thought was absolutely fucking wild, that blew my mind about this movie, was that it would only be $100 fine for hitting that fucking emergency brake. Are you insane? You know how many people would do that for just to see what would happen?
Significantly less.
$100, I'll do this.
It's like $100 fine in 2025. Back then, it'd be like $6 to pull that.
Is it only $100 still?
Oh, what were you basing it off?
The label on the fucking brake.
Oh.
It says $100 fine. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you could just pull that and see what happens and only get charged $100 for it. You know how many people would be doing that for fun? People pull the fire alarms all the time for fun.
And $100 in 1989 would be $216 today with inflation. So
I mean, I wouldn't.
Still not a lot of money.
A maniac.
I'd still do it, but I have so much money.
You do? Wait, why do I keep doing stuff for you for free then? Give me money.
Shit. Shots fired with the Stanland poster in the background.
No, I like it. I like
I know, it's great. Put me back on Stanland as much as possible. So I like the fact that they get out of the car and they stop Jason by knocking him onto the third track, the third line.
Right, he gets electrocuted heavily.
He gets electrocuted.
I do like one thing that I like in movies is when someone gets electrocuted and they just are like smoking from random pockets and like armpits and stuff. Where it's like they clearly put like a smoke bomb underneath his back and just let it go off. But I do want to ask you guys if you noticed this, because it was something that I noticed and I was like, I wonder if everyone else noticed this, or is it just me? So they escape the subway and they go up. And as they're leaving the subway staircase or whatever, there's a bunch of characters around, people, New York City looking guys and gals. And there's a man in a trench coat and he's holding it closed tight and he's got like a hat on, but his legs are bare. And he looks like,
I was going to ask you guys about that as well. I think that was a reference to New York Flashers, I think.
Right. So this is just like a Frank Miller panel. Like Frank Miller drew this and they just put it in there.
I think it was so prevalent. My theory is that it was so prevalent in New York that there were flashers everywhere, that the director had to include a flasher in this like mosaic of things you would see in Times Square. I don't know if it was a reference to like a performer that might be in Times Square.
Oh, like a weird, like he does like a dance that you think he's flashing, but really he's got like a propeller on his wiener or something funny.
Or his nipples.
Yeah.
I much rather like the idea that it was so prevalent to have fucking flashers everywhere, because like that's
what it reminded me of is like when you're drawing sort of a mosaic of a bunch of like or like a well-known area, but you want to make it feel caricature-y. You put every caricature you can in the frame, even if they're not going to do something. And just having a guy with no pants on and a full trench coat is like, that's funny. That is kind of funny and interesting.
Yeah.
And it made me think like, how many other things did I miss in the background that maybe were comedic as well? And then you start how much better could this movie have been if they just spent the whole time in Manhattan?
Exactly.
What if Jason took Manhattan in the first 5 minutes?
That's my whole thesis. Jason did take Manhattan in the first 5 minutes, but they just showed, like you said, all the areas that he was going to go and take Manhattan in. But after this moment, when they come up out of the subway, then they just start like running the gamut of things that you would see in Times Square. And the next thing is like the punks sitting around, and Jason just looks at them, takes his mask off, and they cower in fear. That's not as funny as what we just talked about. The fucking
did we go through
was
the
that a
part?
flash?
Hold on. Did we go through the part where they went through the diner already?
Hold on.
I think
They
that
get it with
happens
this Tough Square,
before.
overload of product placement. Jason survived through, is still after them. Some street tough. No, this is the next thing.
Okay.
Some street
This
tough.
is like one of those
Jason is
moments
dead
where
meat.
it's like the the Friday the 13th end sequence where everything is just happening and there's so much
Yeah.
shit happening that you're like, I can't remember the sequential order of any of
After
this.
the
Like,
after
when
the
did that
street
happen?
toughs, they go to the diner.
Also, I
which
think
is
those were neo-Nazis, by the way. Everybody, if you
Really?
don't, yes. They the only thing that was missing from their attire was a fucking swastika tattoo
swazi?
or a fucking armband or something.
Okay.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I subscribe to that opinion.
Yeah.
They go to the diner and say a maniac is trying to kill them, and then the person behind the fucking counter is just like, "Welcome to New York," which I liked. Jason blasts through the doors and throws a guy. He spares the lady though.
He spares everyone. He doesn't kill that guy. I don't think he just throws him.
He just throws him.
Yeah.
But I mean, he walks by her and she looks up at him. He looks down at her, and then he just keeps going. And she like.
So this
sighs
is another moment, and feel free to jump in because I think that like imagine this was the opening of the movie, and you never see Jason like at all, and this is the first time you see Jason is in that reflection of that broken, fucked up mirror, and you're only seeing it as it's like her being like, huh, like it's a powerful shot. If we hadn't already seen Jason doing goofy shit for fucking an hour and 20 minutes up to this point, they decide to have this really cool artistic shot of Jason's reflection all shattered and hard to see. But it's like, you know, why are they doing that? Oh, because it's a cool shot. Yeah, it is a cool shot, but you know, it would be better if that was at the front end of the movie and we haven't seen what Jason looks like yet. That's a cool way to give you sort of like a little tidbit of maybe what he's going to look like. And like, it seems like a waste, you know? Am I wrong? Am I wrong, guys?
No,
I think
you're
that it's
right.
cool. It's a cool shot
You're
that is
right.
just wasted at the end of this movie that like, it's not appreciated for what it is. But if you were to put it somewhere else in the movie, it could be so powerful and cool. Anyway, Jason made another funny.
I made
Again.
another funny.
He did it again. That
He's-
beautiful
But
bastard.
My thought here was like, like we never really know what Jason's criteria is for killing, and all my brain just went to, is she a virgin? Which we've talked at length about how that's not really what it is, but that's just where my head went.
I think that what we were talking about earlier, where he has the Terminator checklist in his mind, where he's like,
Yeah.
I have to kill these two before I can kill anyone else, is like that's all it can be, because otherwise he would get so distracted. There's people everywhere that are worth killing in New York, right? But he's like, no, I have to kill these two. These are the two that I've decided to kill.
Right.
Maybe he only has like a
Sorry. I thought you were done talking, but the doorbell rang on its own. I don't have any control over it.
it deleted my thought. I don't remember what I'm saying.
Or do you not actually?
I was gonna say maybe he only has like a, you know, like a checklist queue where you only get like
Right.
seven slots, and he like filled those 7 slots at the beginning of the movie, and he has to clear the queue before he can add another 7
It's like
slots.
a side, like he's got to go to a side. Like, you know how in video games you can only have so many side quests up on your HUD.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
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 That's it.
Do you want to see who's at the door?
Yeah. Open it.
Jake?
Oh, hi. Jason, Steve, Jake here. Thanks for having me on the show over the years, and it's been a wild ride. Congratulations. And, yeah.
He was masturbating, I think.
I don't think so.
No? What do you think he was
No.
doing?
I think he was playing. I think he was playing the "Hey, did you see this one?" video game with the world's tiniest little joystick.
Oh, shots fired, son.
Yeah, take that, Doug. I don't know.
Stug.
Doug.
His name's Stug. Yeah.
His name's Stug.
Yeah.
And Steve just said that, and I said it again. Sean and Rennie and Jason go to the sewers. The name of this movie. Jason looks cool. I looked cool during this. Less than
I
10
said, oh,
minutes
there's a sewer level in this video game.
Yeah. When they meet that guy, he's like, in 10 minutes from now, the whole sewer is going to fill up with toxic waste. And if you look at the time left in the movie, there were 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I thought they were going to do like a 1-to-1. They didn't do a 1-to-1. It was like 3 minutes.
You gave this movie
later,
too much credit, Jason.
I really just was still giving it too much credit.
Remember earlier when we were like, you know what would have been better? This. And you think they're going to adhere to a 10-minute timer?
No. Jason grabs the worker and kills him with a wrench and a shadow and a blood splatter, which looked like garbage. Rennie gets his attention and starts to pursue.
Also, this is like a perfect opportunity for a cameo, right? Like this guy
Yeah.
being like a cameo of like John Carpenter shows up all of a sudden as like a, you know, like, you want to be in it for 5 minutes, John Carpenter? Like, do something for this character. Don't make it just a guy who shows up for 2 seconds to die 2 seconds later.
Yeah,
it's
make it Bill Murray.
bullshit. Because it doesn't do anything. They could have just, you know, heard the noises and shit, and it would have been the same outcome. Anyway,
well, she throws some sort of green goo,
annoys
and
me.
it melts his, it like sort of melts his mask or face or something. We see his
It
face.
causes his mask to break off, and he's like,
Yeah.
or whatever. He makes a stupid noise, and we're like,
No, do you know what the
Jason
noise was?
Christ.
Have you guys ever played Super Metroid? When a boss dies in the video game for Super Nintendo Super Metroid, it's like the same noise that it makes when he has his little villain death moment. They fucked up Jason pretty good though. Rennie gets Sean, and they.
I'm melting. What a world! And then I said, Jason makes a lot of weird noises in this one. Can he feel pain all of a sudden? Why is he so upset about toxic waste being thrown in his face when he can get electrocuted without screaming or stabbed or shot? Or like, why is he all of a sudden so upset about toxic waste?
Exactly.
Is that his kryptonite? And then they climb a ladder, and then a bunch of fucking toxic waste shows up, and then he starts barfing everywhere, which is kind of funny. Like, it's very funny.
you covered it, man. He turns into a kid at the very end, and the kid gives the necklace
Wait,
back.
do you guys remember when he's like,
I do. No, I know exactly
like
what
a hose?
scene you're talking about. It just shows it for like a split second. All I could think of was in Freddy versus Jason when they have to do the like mouth to mouth.
But in that, he's dreaming of drowning.
He's dreaming of drowning. That's what I'm saying.
In this,
but
it's just
he
like,
just is like
Jason's actually scared. Like, it's like he's
Yeah.
so scared that he's barfing up a bunch of water because he's like, oh shit, I'm scared.
Where
And
did
then when
Freddy versus Jason? Where did that come in the timeline?
It's after Jason X, I think.
It's after. No, it's not after Jason X. Jason X takes place like 400,000 years in the future. Or whatever.
It's after Jason goes to hell. It's the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's after the next Jason, but also it's wherever you want it to be.
Who cares? Yeah. Like Steve, like you said, they just climb up a ladder, they see him get oozed, and then they escape. They go up to the surface. We get that last like hand coming out, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, but it's just the dog, and then the credits roll, and that's the end of the movie. Dog, butthole, cat, dog, butthole,
sorry
cat,
about this.
dog. What an amazing time.
Hello, hey, did you see this one, fans? I'm standing outside of what looks like shit in the rain because I have a very important public service announcement. Hey, did you see this one? Has hit 5 years. So that's pretty amazing. Congratulations, boys. As I'm going to say I'm the MVP guest, I would like to personally thank you both for having me on the show so much. And I would like to thank the fans for allowing them to have me on the show so much. So happy birthday, happy 5 years. An absolute incredible thing. Thank you, fans, for supporting the channel. It's such an amazing and sick. That's how important this is. All right, take care. Mwah.
Thanks, Noel.
Thanks, Noel.
There are a couple more people to come to the door if you guys will have it before we get into our.
Well, wait, hold on. Why don't we just finish off this last little chunk, which is they defeat Jason. He gets melted, I guess, by the toxic waste, and then he strips off all of his earthly corporeal shacklings and becomes a little soft boy with all his hair is back, which I assume only she can see him, right? Like we assume that the boy Sean cannot see him.
You know,
This
I
is like-
didn't make that assumption. I think I thought that he somehow turned back into a boy.
That's
I
what
thought
I
it was
also
just
thought.
her weird.
You're probably right, but yeah, I guess it wasn't totally clear, but yeah.
But I mean, every single moment where she sees, like, it's not clear the entire time. So
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
I took it literally. I was like, Jason turns back into a child, and also just they leave that child behind, and he fucking melts.
I mean,
under some
the only
sewage
reason I
line.
think that is because, like, there's no point, like, when she runs him over, like, everyone's not like, there's a boy in the role. Like, there's no evidence that anyone else can see him when he's appearing like that. And then also, it wouldn't make any fucking sense that he turns back into a boy in my mind, other than
true.
like she witnessed him barfing and scared of the waste, so he is turning back into a little boy, literally in his mind, because he's scared, like a little boy would be. Which Freddy versus Jason, when we see him scared in the dream world, he turns into a little boy as well. That's like his weak form or whatever. And also the guy didn't be like, who's this kid? What the fuck's going on over here? Sean is his name. And then they leave the sewer and they're like, it's a bright new day in New York City. And then the dog comes and the movie fucking ends and it is night again somehow.
Do they bother? Do you guys know or remember? Do they bother to explain? Like usually at the start of the next movie, they try to explain like how he came back to life from the previous death. But if I remember, Jason Goes to Hell, it just starts back at they're just at Crystal Lake again, and they just
I don't know. Personally. Like I said, it's the only one I haven't seen. So
the start of So I mean, my notes right here say, thankfully, all of the toxic waste from New York City runs right into Crystal Lake. It's pumped in there directly.
That's a good enough explanation, I would say.
I also wrote, oh, the sky knows he's been defeated because lightning decides to strike everything.
Yeah, why?
That's true. That's true that there's lightning all over the sky.
It's
at
not
the
a
very end of
Jason
this.
thing. That's a Chucky thing. If anything, it's a Chucky thing.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking Jason thing. But here we go. The dog served no purpose in this movie, and he was absent for like 90% of it.
Yeah, the dog came back and it was completely meaningless. It was just like, oh yeah, there was a dog before. Like,
No, it's what I mentioned earlier, where like the slasher puts his hand up to indicate that he survived, but it was just like a cheap jump scare moment. It was just like, oh, it was the dog
but
all along.
just because you mentioned it earlier doesn't mean it makes any fucking sense at all.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, like, that's what the intention of that like attempted jump scare was. But yeah, that's
it's bad.
Movie. That's bad.
So
you're gonna hate my fucking review of this movie.
Yeah, Jason's like, this is the best Jason Voorhees adventure I've ever seen.
Nay, the best movie I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, I heard there
we should go.
I think someone's walking up to the door. Wait, hold on.
No, I deleted all the rest of the doorbells. Here he is.
Oh, were they just the ones where it's you saying 5 years over top of them again?
Yeah, no. It was there's one I just read it, like Tim's and Sam's, but they're not really. The Tim was.
If they're
great.
new ones, I'll watch them. But if they're
not new, no, okay. I did all the new ones, and the last two were not.
I appreciate your efforts on the bit, but that's
yeah. It was just going to be the same gimmick again.
Sorry, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Home Alone It All?
Where are we now? We're at the end.
Home Alone It All, the rating, and the final thoughts.
Home Alone.
If you had to pick one, what do you think the Home Alone of it all?
When is the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone of
I
it all
really gotta know.
When is the Home Alone of it all?
What is the Home Alone of it all?
Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
Look, I'm going to condense this down as fast as possible. The Home Alone of it all is, in fact, your favorite part of the movie. Let's be real. But it is the moment in Home Alone where Ken McAllister slept on the blueprint and sets up a nightmare tunnel for his friends. Michael, you've been here before. You know about all of this stuff. The Home Alone of it all is your favorite part of the movie. You got to give your final thoughts and then a rating. Could you please give that to us now?
So you want me to do all of it? Home Alone of it all, final thoughts and rating, right? All right now?
Yes, please.
1, 2, 3 punch.
One,
Okay,
two, three,
first of all, Home Alone of it all. If we kind of really dig into what the intent of this segment was from the beginning. It's like not only your favorite part, but it's also kind of like the implicit promise that the movie makes that you kind
I'm
of look
stealing
forward to,
implicit promise.
right? So I think that it has to be the moment in Times Square. That visual of Jason in Times Square is a cool visual. It was memorable, and if I remember one thing about this movie, and like you, Steven, I remember nothing of this movie except for that shot of Jason standing in Times Square and like all the people around and stuff. So for me, that's my Home Alone of it all. Next was what my review of the movie.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
bad. It's bad. It's not completely irredeemable, but I'm not excited to watch it again. So there's that. And I would do you have a scale that you want me to use for my rating?
It's whatever you want it to be, brother.
Okay. All right. It's probably like 250 hockey masks out of 10,000.
Out of 10,000.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. No, that's good. That's good. Well, thank you, Michael. I can't wait to talk to you again on this show. Thank you for coming and
Yeah, I'll be back next
using
week.
your time. Yeah, here he comes. Steven, tell me about it.
My Home Alone of it all for this movie is when I first turned it on and remembered that there's that sort of vignette moment at the beginning where there's a kid telling the story of Jason Voorhees and how it is going to impact the rest of this movie, and seeing him escape from his chains. And I got excited and I was like, damn, I don't remember a lot about this movie. And I got really excited. And then for an hour after that, I was underwhelmed for most of it until they got to Manhattan. I was like, now here's where the movie begins, realizing there's only 20 minutes left. And then that last 20 minutes is also shit. Well, okay then. So yeah, I mean, I liked when he got released from his chains. I also think that the Manhattan moment is like you said, Mike. That was probably the whole conceit of the idea of this movie is like, imagine him standing in Times Square. Isn't that a cool visual? And it is a cool visual. Him kicking the boombox is a cool visual. It's one of the things that when I think of Jason as a character, I think of that moment of him kicking the boombox. It's not like specific to this movie. It's just a Jason Voorhees moment in my mind that I like. It's not always, someone getting smashed against a tree or stabbed or, thrown off a thing or whatever. It is him kicking the boombox is like a pivotal sort of Jason Voorhees moment in my brain. So I like that stuff too. But the movie is a big pile of shit. And the reason that I say that is because there's no characters that are interesting. There's no characters that are redeemable. The one interesting character is the biggest asshole that you'll ever meet. You kind of keep wanting to see him die, but he survives almost the entirety of the movie. He's got such a bad attitude that you would expect him to die immediately. We watched Freddy versus Jason last week, and the character that had this kind of energy died within a few minutes of meeting him. That's the kind of energy this character has, where you're just like waiting the whole time, being like, is this guy gonna die ever? And he doesn't have any moments of redemption except for like almost half a second of like humanity where you're like, oh, is he gonna be good now? No, he just gets worse even. But he does speak logic, I suppose. When it comes to the pantheon or the filmography or the legacy or the saga of Jason, I don't consider this to be high on the list. It's one that, as I've said in this very review, I forget almost every single moment about them on that boat. There was a point when we went into it when I went into it to watch it today, that I thought the entire movie took place on that little boat at the beginning. And I was like, isn't it like a little boat or something? In my head, I was like, I swear it's a little boat. I forgot about how many teenagers were involved. There's a dance room, there's a boxing room, all these things. I was like, holy shit, I forgot all about all of this. And as the movie was ramping up, I'm like, this is going to be interesting. And it wasn't. And I guarantee you 5 days from now, all of this information is going to be lost from my mind. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would give this movie going to Walmart and buying a shitty fake Jason Voorhees mask and putting it on and pretending like you're actually Jason Voorhees in real life.
Well, yeah, that's apt. I love your early pick, Jason. Thanks for sharing.
But we also don't. We have to just mention one more time. That's what Jason is wearing in this movie. He's wearing a fake Jason Voorhees mask that that guy bought from a Halloween store at the beginning of the movie, and he puts it on.
Look, I'm gonna be the villain here. I liked this movie. It had its down points, it had its slow points. It was kind of a slog, but that said, the anticipation of waiting basically my whole life to actually get through it was a lot. I was 4 years old when this movie came out, and I was scared of it for basically that whole time. But I do like things like, love the New York stuff, even though Steve doesn't like it or Michael disliked it as well. There were very interesting camera moments and cinematography on the ship moment, like going down into.
I will agree with you there. There are some very interesting choices when it comes to cinematography in this movie, but I was in the wrong spots, in the wrong places.
I was frustrated by the discotheque moment, of course, but I still felt like I could see what they were doing, and you enhanced that by your vision, Steven, is fucking so much better than what we got in this movie. I don't know why they spent so much time on the boat when, if the whole movie was in New York, I think would have been just better overall. Like I know that it's contentious.
It's money, Jason, money.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. And I know it's contentious that you guys were waiting for that moment, and then it still was 30 minutes of kind of bad stuff. But at least in New York, we had Jason with the backdrop of New York City, and I love the way New York City looks in all eras, right from when it was like a small podunk town right up to now, and it's like this megalopolis. I love all that stuff, and I wasn't bored watching it, and I think that goes a long way for when I personally watch film. I was retroactively bored by the cruise ship part of the movie. But while I was watching it, I was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? It is ultimately a disappointment what happens there, but I was not disappointed by any of the New York stuff. So my Home Alone of it all is just them getting to New York and on. And
Lady Liberty? You're like, oh, here we go.
Oh, shit. She's going to pull her dress up. Nope. That's too much. Overall, unfortunately for you guys, and I'm not going to waver, I give this movie a 3.7 out of 5 because I had a great time with it, and it's my own personal scale, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I don't know if you read my Instagram reviews. There's no continuity. I also give this movie 3 heads punched off 5 bodies.
3. It would have been great if you said he tried to punch the head off, but he just punched it and exploded. The head just popped.
Yeah.
He's like, goddamn.
That's also a great rating. You know what? That's actually my new rating.
Okay.
So, well, that's Freddy versus Jason. No, that's Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Michael Mangiardi was here. Jason Voorhees himself. And there's one question that really just needs to be asked. There, I got it out. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I know, so gross. There's one question that needs to be asked each and every week here on the show. Michael, would you be able to ask that for us right now for our 5th anniversary? It's our 5th anniversary. Oh, no. Plugs. Let's do plugs.
The heck are you doing over here? So I
get to plug things.
I got something that I need to ask. Does anybody have anything they want to plug?
All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
He died. Just like Jason
Mike,
at the end. Oh wait,
he
didn't
died. Well, did he die?
But just like Jason, he
Michael.
comes back every week.
And just like Jason, he turns into a little boy.
Yeah,
Little
just like
boy.
Jason, he turns. I don't know who you're talking about at this point because I do come back every week. My name's Jason. Michael, do you have anything that you want to plug this week?
As usual, I run an a little independent podcast network here in Toronto. We have lots of great shows. It's called the Sonar Network. You can find us at thesonarnetwork.com, or you can listen to other, I don't care what network you decide, whether it's the United Federation of Podcasts or it's the Sonar Network, but just listen to indie podcasts.
Yeah.
We just we've been really pushing a show that we put out in July called Stanland, which is a cool audio fiction show written by Mike Sachs, and it stars Bobby Moynihan, Ray Seahorn, John Waters, Steve Little. Really great cast, really funny show. Listen to it. We've been putting out a couple of mini series that we've been producing and putting out that are also in the same universe. So we're building a whole world. So it's time to get on board. And these miniseries are fun, and you might hear some familiar voices like the great Jason R. Phillips Takes Manhattan, and of course Stephen Boba Black White Waters, who's also helping with production, post-production, behind the scenes, and I really like working with both of you guys, and I hope we continue to have a long, fruitful relationship.
So do I.
And then someday, when we are podcast millionaires, and we're standing up top of our podcast towers, we look down on the city, and we say, "This is my city."
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, long story short, this is the Stanland. You might hear Jason. Jay. Does anyone call you Jay?
No, please don't call me that. Only my parents call
Okay.
me that. Don't even call me that, parents. It's Jason.
Okay. You might hear Jason and Steven there, and I think you'll love it. But whatever you do, keep your stick on the ice.
Elbows up or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
yeah.
Please come back every single week. Steven,
next
what do you have cooking on the old back burner, buddy?
Well, I usually pitch Stanland, so it's nice that I don't have to do that this time. But yeah, I am in Stanland. I play a couple of characters. In the first miniseries, I'm pretty prevalent, and in the second miniseries that is coming soon to a podcast network near you, I'm playing some other characters, and they're pretty fun.
Yeah, we just recorded it a couple days ago, and Stephen has one character that was a real hit in the recording room. And I think it's gonna. I mean, they were both great, but one of them was like, because it was a celebrity kind of impression, but I've never heard anyone do that impression before. But it's like one of the biggest people in the world. So it's cool that
And it
you
was
have
good?
it. It was really good.
Okay.
It was bang on, and it was like funny and stupid and silly, and it was like, I think people are gonna love it. So
It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my entire life. And I don't think I made eye contact with any of you. And then I think maybe I made eye contact with you when I was leaving, and I was like, okay, bye. I have to
Yeah,
leave.
you
now.
did seem like you were in a rush to get the fuck
Well,
out.
I did also have to go record something else, but I was also very embarrassed. And I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. I have to leave.
No, you killed it. It was great.
Okay, thank you. That makes me feel good. Other than Stanland, which again, everybody check it out because it's very funny, very fun, and I'm in it. I'm one of your favorite people that you watch on the internet. So go watch that. I am also the voice of Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist, and I talk like this, and I say, let's explore the depths of it in the video. But next week, we have been working on something very special for all of you. And if you guys are a fan of spooky shit, which I am, then you might be into this.
A long time ago, in a galaxy of endless wars. Some stories are older than the stars themselves. Tales whispered in shadows. Stories the Jedi dared never to record. Last year, we brought you a tale steeped in fire and drowned in mud, pulled straight from a nightmare, and cast back to hell. This year, Darth Theorist unleashes not one nightmare, but four. Four tales of terror, carved from the darkest corners of the galaxy, each one a little on the dark side. 4 days, 4 writers, 4 stories. Let's explore the depths of it in the videos.
Oh my god, dude, that looks so good.
That looks so fucking good.
So
dude.
it's like if I'm understanding it, it's like kind of like anthology of like kind of a little horror story set in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, you guys remember like Freaky Stories? This happened to a friend of mine. It's kind of like one of those. So rather than be like, what if this happened in Star Wars? How would Star Wars end up? It'd be like, hey, I heard that Emperor Palpatine had a dinner party one night and a bunch of people ended up dead. You want to hear about it? Like that's kind of the idea.
That's really cool. That seems like it's gonna be so fun.
I hope so. I hope people are into it. I don't know. Sometimes we come up with fun ideas and no one gives a shit. But like, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I love Halloween and I love spooky shit and I love that kind of stuff from my childhood. And I'm trying to like introduce a new audience to it. But yeah, Darth Theorist, the Star Wars channel that I am a part of, and the Three-Eyed Theorist, the Game of Thrones channel that I'm a part of. We're gonna do some spooky stuff next week, and I advise all of you to check it out because it's going to be pretty cool, I think.
Well, thank you, Steven. It's fucking, I love that trailer too. It's so well put together. I'd like to meet the guy that made that someday.
Well,
he seems really hot.
He seems like he's tall too and like has a huge butt.
He's probably taller than both of you and has a bigger dick than both of you combined. Let's explore the depths of it in the video.
Yeah. Oh man, let's explore the depths of it in the video. It's one of my favorite, like, I want to say inside joke, but it isn't because that's like your calling card. Yeah. That's great. Thanks, Steve. That looks great. I don't know how to compete with that. This show, hey, did you see this one? You can find each and every week right here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And, you know, over the weekend after that goes up in its audio format and on demand and all that good stuff. I am the announcer, the wrestling announcer for Super Kicked Wrestling here in Toronto. We have Zombie Wrestling coming up this weekend and next weekend, the weekend of the 24th, or like tomorrow night, the 24th. And then next weekend, Thursday and Friday for Zombie Wrestling. It's going to be at the studio for the 24th, the Super Kick Studios off of Bloor-Yonge Station, and then Great Hall for the 30th and the 31st. You can see me at 2 dates, the 24th and the 31st. I'm going to be doing a wrestling show on Halloween. That's pretty big for me. That's a pretty cool thing. And it's zombie wrestling. It's kind of a WrestleMania. That's how I like to put it. Outside of that, besides catching this show each and every week at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, you can also buy our t-shirts. Please buy our t-shirts. Steven has graciously illustrated several amazing images. First and foremost, coming off the heels of our James Bond grimoire. It's not a grimoire, it's more of a book. But we have Corporal Tunnel Syndrome, who digs underground and fucks up James Bond at every turn. We also have the Howie Mandel effect. I usually reveal this at the end, but right now you're seeing it.
But also the Howie Mandel effect, we have to give credit to Michael because he's the one who said that.
Oh yeah, Michael did come up with the Howie Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Look.
I don't remember doing it, but I feel like that in itself is a Howie Mandela effect.
I'm Howie Mandela affected by it
Yeah.
with an A.
Yeah, people are gonna be watching the episodes years from now and they'll be like, I swear to God, Jason said that. No, I think Steve said it. I'm pretty sure it was Michael Mangiati.
It was the six-timer himself, Michael Jason Voorhees Monchiardi. And also you can get the Grimoire Familiar Killers, the old school image on a t-shirt. This is going to change next year, probably, to include
It's gonna change as
Ghostface.
Fucking second.
Yeah. Ghostface and whoever we include, maybe Final Destination, maybe Hellraiser.
The way I kind of want it to be is that I'm just gonna add to it. I don't want it to move anyone, you know?
Yeah, that's a great idea as well.
It's gonna be a giant big party of horror people eventually.
That it's so good. Like this picture is so iconic for our show. Like it's so fucking good, dude. You can also get the Eldritch Millennial, which is just a fun picture. And speaking of the Grimoire Familiar Killers, you can have the Killade blasting through any door that you want to be put on a t-shirt. And the fan favorite himself, it's Twinkerbell.
I don't know what happened to my Twinkerbell shirt because I ordered one and it's just gone. Like it's got. I think someone stole it from the laundry room.
Didn't
You
your
know that
laundry room
means?
catch on fire?
It did. Yes.
It burst to flames.
No, that's a real thing. All my clothes are fine, Michael. By the way.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It wasn't the one that I put my shit into. I was so worried that I overloaded it or something, and like I caused the fire that I was like, oh god, did I fuck this up? Are they gonna like trace this back to me?
Okay. But there is one last. What a spooky story to tell in the dark.
Yeah.
But there is one last question that needs to be asked each and every week. Michael, can you hit us with that question right now, please, sir?
Hey, have you seen the movie yet? Did you?
Hey, Michael Mangiardi, why don't you tell us your best joke?
Well, have you seen how many pickles does it take to make it to Hollywood?
How many pickles does it take to make it to
I
Hollywood?
I don't know. Could you tell me how many?
7.
Seven is a good number. Yeah.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.